setting our settings. Welcome to the chat room.
I'll look for a bot. It's here somewhere.
There's a bot? How about that? Starlove's Streamlabs bot, chat bot.
Golden Drake says hello, hello.
Hello, hello. The Streamlabs chat bot is now loading. Welcome to a live stream.
I don't know if they hear that or not. What do you think? Can you guys hear us when we talk over the on break?
Where is the mic? Oh, it's over there.
It's way over here because I was trying to make it have less of the fan noise, but I don't think it'll help.
Well, it should help a lot.
Loud.
Your computer's loud.
I guess I will start the webcam.
Ah, okay.
Bluey!
There we are. We are here. Yeah. Yes, we can indeed hear you. Good, good, good. I am wearing my School for Heroes.
I might need a hat.
The School for Heroes school t-shirt.
Like
I mean, long shirt. You want the hat?
Here. Give me that one.
I was going to say, here's this hat. The hat that was on the Meep. I don't think it's a good one for you. It's not a good look. Where did you put the hat that you were wearing earlier?
It's behind the curtain.
Oh, behind the curtain. It's above the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He's not important.
Yeah, there. Have a hat. We'll put that back on the Meep so the Meep doesn't get cold.
Yeah, I was going to put this on top of it.
I know, that's okay. I avoided that that fashion statement.
You.
Fashion misstep.
It kind of goes with my shirt, blue and blue.
Uh-huh. Yes, Corey.
Although the important part of this shirt is the back.
Well, yes.
Tell me when it's lined up correctly.
When it's lined up, well, squat down. Squat, squat. There, now it's lined up. Now straighten your back. That's better. You have to squat a little bit more. But they get the picture.
My bro?
They can't, yeah, move back now. Yeah. Yes. So, yes, Corey is wearing a shirt that's even older.
It's a Cheetar. It's even older than we are?
Not older.
That's pretty old.
Yeah, that is. What are those things that are dancing there?
I don't know, mice.
Dancing minotaurs?
Or
Mandalorians with
dancing
fiveballs. Yes.
Oh, no, they sort of look like, what's that game that, Hollow Knight, or whatever.
Okay, I don't know. Would you ever stream play Dark Souls? We'd have to actually play look at the game. We don't.
Okay, we have changed nothing since the last time when we had all the streams Shovel Knight.
Oh, Shovel Knight, okay.
Okay, since we last streamed and had all those problems, so I would have to think it's something on the internet.
It's the Cox side. If everything looks like it's
could be Cox, could be Twitch.
Yep. No, it's Cox because we already established that Twitch was that everything else was fine on Twitch. So yeah.
It was probably Cox was having problems.
Yeah. It was all coxed up. Correct. Thank you, little Yazzik.
Little Yozik has subscribed at tier 1 for the 7th month.
Boy, Corey. That was a mixed metaphor.
That was a mixed metaphor.
Yeah. Yay, subscription. Hi, all. Thank you, man.
Yoshik.
Sir?
Yoshik definitely sounds Paruski to me.
Well, it does. It looks like, or something in that Slavic landscape. The legendary play RPGs from other makers. Yeah, well.
Okay, well, we can add that to our schedule.
Can certainly, yes, because we do play World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
Blizzard games.
I'm actually letting my World of Warcraft subscription expire now. I've done this 3 or 4 times in the past, and I always go back.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how long this one lasts.
But I want to actually, an extra 4 hours a day, an extra 30 hours a week would probably be kind of useful for getting stuff done.
Yes, it was. It did slip into Scottish.
It was sort of a cross between Slavic and Gaelic.
And unfortunately, you can't switch to Final Fantasy. Yeah. Well,
why can't we?
Because they're victims of their own success right now. Well, when we were first getting on to World of Warcraft, it was at the beginning, and we couldn't get on for another month or 2. Yeah,
excuse me.
Phone, and you'll have to tell that person not to come on.
I cannot talk. Yes. I have just started a live stream.
Hedgehog, Mr. Sir, Hedgehog, little Hedgehog, wonderful. Oh, he's in fact Scottish.
There we go.
Yay!
I figured it out. It was the little that was the key.
Ah.
Only only a Scot would.
Wee. It would be a wee edgehog.
A wee edgehog.
But he's Scottish. Yes.
A little Yozik.
Yojik. Okay. Cool.
There you are.
Now I will.
Are you
know that
are
word.
you like literally Scottish living in Scotland, or are you of Scottish ancestry, derivation, etc.? A wee edgehog. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Dark Souls is influential in the game. Now, what I have, okay, so if I go to my Steam library while Lori talks.
Yes, I don't know.
Talk.
Well, I'm reading the things. Blessing of Varana upon you. Oh, great. Let's see. Living in California now. Yes, this morning we had that tsunami warning for our area from the volcano that erupted in Tonga.
Yes, I had just turned on my laptop this morning around 6:30 or 7, and I heard a scary, scary sound, and I assumed it was coming from the laptop, which I just turned on, and it took me a few minutes to locate Lori's cell phone on the other side of the room, which was giving me a tsunami warning.
Friend in Hawaii has been keeping us informed.
Hawaii is closer than here.
Yes.
We are scheduled to visit Hawaii next month, and we're hoping it all goes well.
Fun part about
5 or
Dark
6 weeks.
Souls is one of their inspirations were the old Fighting Fantasy or
Fighting Fantasy.
game books.
Yeah, they were. I think I think that was a kind of a similar to Choose Your Own Adventure, but they were basically role playing by solo role playing.
Huh.
All right, if I click on my library, okay.
Do you have any role playing games?
I'm looking. I have Disco Elysium, which has been very highly recommended. I should probably try.
Is that role playing?
I believe so. I believe it's role playing.
Okay.
I have Earthlock Festival of Magic, which is an MMO.
Yeah. Well.
I have.
You have
Those are most. I have a lot of adventure games.
Yep.
Some puzzle games because I was researching puzzle games.
Yep. Getting on planes requires putting many sticks up your nose these days. Ooh.
Yuck.
Oh, they were by Steve Jackson and Ian.
Those
Livingston.
guys.
Yeah.
In Livingston. Okay.
Yeah, they went on to do Games Workshop and then other things. Yeah.
I have Quest for Glory, but that's not by somebody else.
No.
Celeste. I think Celeste is a role-playing game. Pretty sure, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I have Celeste.
Was that the one we saw at E3?
Elysium.
Is that the one that we...
I don't know. It was something that I liked their campaign on Kickstarter and supported.
Yeah, I think that was the one that was coming up just...
And, boy, I sure have a lot of adventure games, even though I don't think we make adventure games or play them.
Celeste is a platformer. Okay, so...
Huh? Celesta? This is not Celeste. This is Celesta. Solasta.
You could show the page, actually. You could show the screen.
Desktop.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about Celeste.
Celeste, Crown of the Magister.
I thought that was the one that was at E3 and then we supported it on Kickstarter. They were about to go into their Kickstarter. I thought maybe...
What does it say? Roll for initiative. That sounds like an RPG to me.
Yeah.
What does it say?
What?
This.
Release date was...
No, roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative. Take attacks of opportunity. Manage player location and the verticality of the battlefield in this turn-based tactical RPG based on the SRD 5.1 rule set. In Celeste, you make the choices. Dice decide your destiny. Wow, okay.
And the character development is detailed and motivating, and it definitely has a little... reminds me a little bit of...
I bet we would die in this
Underworld,
one.
except it's full of, it looks like destructible landscapes.
Yeah.
Destructible
Yeah,
terrain.
we would certainly die in this one. If we were playing
maybe,
it.
You know, it depends on how they balanced it. But yeah, it does look like, looks like there's some Twitch gaming to it.
Yeah.
But we're not that bad at Twitch.
Not if you play raiding and...
Yeah, I do raiding and stuff.
And
so
you still die.
I watched a little, well, I do, but I usually die at the end of the battle and the rest of the team finishes it.
Okay, back to...
Us?
I guess so, because that's what it's all about. Another good suggestion is
about us.
Planescape Torment. I never got out of the first area. I'm not very good at that kind of game.
That's an interesting question because I have Planescape
You know what
Torment,
we
but I
could
didn't
do?
see it here.
Well, I didn't either. What we could do
I
is
know I
have
have it.
you people tell us where to go and what to do. Yeah, I don't see it there.
I am quite certain I own that, maybe
But
on
probably-
GOG
Maybe.
or possibly on a different account on Steam.
Yes.
Because I kind of mixed my
Planescape Torment is a great choice. Well, it is one of those things we could talk about. Saw, heard, and someone else other than Eric Langell is posted to Reddit showing that they have early builds of Dragonfire. Oh, I didn't see that. I wonder who that is.
I thought I saw a Galaxy here somewhere, but I don't see it. I got too much crap on
It's
my
a
desktop.
lot of reading. Yeah, it is. But at least it's interesting. Speedrunners in particular salivating at the possibilities. Yes. Well,
Speedrunners.
tons and tons of text is our trademark. Yeah, my trademark game design theory, yes.
Is what?
Tons and tons of text.
Tons and tons of text.
Yeah.
Okay, owned games. I have 68 owned games here.
Well, you have a lot of own games on.
All right, here on
the good
here
old.
on GOG Galaxy. I can't read that first one.
That's
Anachronics.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anachronics. I didn't know I had that. I have Baldur's Gate. That's an RPG. Bard's Tale is an RPG.
I mean, they'll recognize a lot of these.
Betrayal of Krondor and Betrayal of Antara for Sierra RPGs. Deus Ex, I don't know what that is.
Not one we played. Yes.
Well, category-wise, I don't think I would call it. Eye of the Beholder is definitely an RPG. Dragon Shard, probably. See, I got a lot of games that I think I got in some big bundle somewhere, and that's why I own a lot of games that I've never actually bought. Icewind Dale.
And then all the Might
Who
and
are you?
Magics.
Well, the Heroes of Might and Magic and the Might and Magic, yep. I used to play a lot of Heroes of Might and Magic to the point where
Pillars of Eternity.
I locked it in a box. I put them all in a box and had my friend put them in
And
a
there
storage
it is,
space.
Planescape Torment.
Okay, and Neverwinter Nights, Diamond. Pillars of Eternity. I have Pillars of Eternity. I bought that in Kickstarter. So apparently I got a lot of this stuff on GOG. Planescape Torment, yes. What was the... that's the follow-up to... What was the original game?
Planescape Torment?
Yeah, that was...
Doesn't matter. Ultima.
Thief, which is sort of a stealth RPG.
His Brainiac's GOG has 567 owned. Yes, including Planescape Torment. Yes.
So anyway, yes, I do have these games. I could play some of them and actually maybe discover new games and if I'm not playing WoW.
Amazing, yes, that there are things in the life that are not WoW.
Teen Agent.
Yeah.
That was free.
So,
It might be a visual novel.
we never actually played Ultima online, but we...
I played a very little bit of Ultima Online.
But we got to hear all the mistakes and things that they made trying
In fact,
to make
yes,
that.
I remember specifically. I guess we can get back to webcam.
First time chat is a bot.
Hello, first time chat bot.
Yeah.
Spam bot alert. Where's that?
That's there with the first time chat there. Yeah, spam bot.
I forget how you do it. You click on his name
I don't know.
and block. Block.
So much for that first timer.
But now I can't get rid of this.
Oh well, I think you hit that maybe.
First time chat then viewer. Okay, I think he's gone.
Okay. Yeah, we figured.
I blocked him. I didn't destroy the chat. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. Click to reply.
I don't think you bother with it. It's that he won't say anything more. He'll try. No.
Anyway, he'll try, but he won't be here.
Okay.
So let's see. What was I talking
Still
about?
updating the realm. There was a January 1st update. Well, okay.
Impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reporting him. Yeah.
The realm could have been the world of Quest for Glory.
Yes, it could have been. Except that they didn't.
We were that close to it. We were in the same room with the idea.
Yes, we were. We're brought in for that idea. There would be
And,
no Quest for Glory 5 if there wasn't a realm.
That's true. That brought Lori back to
that is why
talks with
yep.
Yosemite Entertainment.
So therefore, we all owe, and the team that was doing the realm, and of course then we had the team that was doing the realm for Explorati then later. So.
Well, it was no, that wasn't the realm. That was the Dream Park people.
Yeah, but they had been originally part of the realm too.
Oh, were they part of the realm?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So yeah. So it came for a circle. After Quest for Glory 5, then we went on to a...
Didn't call it Dream Park. It was some very similar name.
Yeah.
But it was Dream Park.
Yeah.
That they were building over in the old barn. The Imagination Network building was working on making the ultimate theme park. And somehow they didn't have the $1 billion that was necessary.
Or the right technology at the time. So
yeah, well,
all those things.
With $1 billion, you can buy or build the right technology.
No, because the computers weren't fast enough and the web wasn't robust.
It would have taken them 20 years. It would have been by the time
all
they
right,
finished.
fine. By the time that Star Lords or whatever.
Star Citizen, yeah.
Star Citizen
yeah, they'd be racing.
Out.
They'd be racing Star Citizen for release in 2040.
Okay. An article by Brainiac. My late father helped develop Quest for Glory 5. Who is he?
Gregory.
I don't. Yeah, who knows? Who that was his father's name, though? Huh. Interesting.
Well, you can click on 20 comments. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, I'll click on the 20 comments. That's interesting. Comments.
Wait, are they right here?
I guess so.
That's really a cool find.
Yeah. Props to your pops. Props to your pops. Yes. Mostly these are just comments, so I have no idea who his late father was. That's sad.
Gregory,
because there was
D64.
nobody that old working on Quest for Glory 5.
Terry?
Huh? I said nobody that old was working on it.
Terry's close to our age, isn't he?
What? Yeah, but that is not old. I mean, there was nobody that should have been in the death age that was working on Quest for Glory 5.
All right. Do we want to go through the number of people that have worked on our games that have died?
No.
Ken Nishue. Well, Carlos Escobar, I don't think actually worked on the games.
He never worked on ours, yes. Yeah.
Several others.
And the fact that there are files with the word pirate on them intrigues him, yes.
And Return to.
Yes. Yeah.
Various pick.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's quite a find. It certainly looks like accurate, though.
Yes, technically, we were not probably supposed to have kept any of the materials whatsoever from Quest for Glories, but we did have the original design notes for Heroes Quest on done in the Stylist word publisher on the Atari ST. So Atari ST. Formatted disc, 3.5-inch disc.
Yeah, this would have to be returned to.
For non-existent word processor.
Oh, they've marked out. Oh, it's white out that's there, not just white. Interesting, all in all. That's fun.
Curious.
Sadly, death can be at any age. Yes, it can be. It's just that, sometimes you hear about it. I can't imagine who it was. I was trying to figure out.
I answered a Quora question a few years ago asking why... older developers were hanging on instead of either quitting or moving up into management roles to make room for the younger developers to be promoted. And I basically said, well, we're all struggling too. Yeah. But it was effectively, well, why don't you just die?
So yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting.
What's the use of growing old? And the answer is, well, you can. Because you're just going to die sometime. Well, you can die at 30, so.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe you can live at 70.
Don't worry about your death. It'll come. Whether you want it or not. Yep.
Okay.
Got to do with what you live. Age does not matter. Exactly.
But I was trying to tell an Ultima
Were
Online
you
story.
the only Atari ST users in North America? No, we were the developers, one of the few developers of the Atari ST.
So Antic magazine was a Atari 800 magazine based out of San Francisco, and they started up a magazine called Start, which was their Atari ST magazine. ST, Start. And I called my word processor Style List, beginning and ending with ST. That was for the Atari ST, and it was actually a full desktop publishing system rather than just a word processor. And it was far, far more too ambitious for what we could do as a small indie team. Ever heard that problem before? We've never repeated that mistake, have we? And eventually it ended up getting canned. But that led to, having done that, was what led to me getting a job at Sierra.
Yep. It all comes together. Yes.
We had an intern at Sierra when I was first working there, from, I think it was from San Luis Obispo. It was like Caltech or Cal State San Luis Obispo Technical College. And he was quite a bright young intern. And he converted my Atari STI version of the STI interpreter to work on the Amiga. So any STI games you played in the Amiga were done with, I can't remember his name now. I feel like it starts with an E, but I'm not sure. Anyway, those were all basically done with a modified version of my Atari ST interpreter.
Yep. So anyway.
But anyway, so he would periodically call people over and say, Amiga demo!
Yes.
At which point everyone would cluster around the Amiga and he'd show something like...
that was really cool, because that was where the really cool stuff was going on. Not in the Mac at the time.
Yep. So he'd show off like the CinemaWare stuff that was just beautiful and brilliant on the Amiga and wonderful sound. Yeah. And eventually he started calling out Amiga demo to show off our games running on the Amiga.
Yeah. So yes, we got to see Amiga demos. It was very important. So anyway, the theme of this day's talk, at least in theory.
I never did get to tell my online story.
Oh, well.
But the theme is.
Yes, is Go Snow. So whether you live on the East Coast and it's all Go Snow, go, or you're back here and saying Go Snow, how amazing, because we always love snow.
Or Come Snow.
Yes, yeah. Mac in those days only had two games, the built-in Solitaire and Prince of Persia.
Okay, on one of the very early days of the Mac, our roommate Phil had a Mac, one of the original Macs, and there was a game, I think it was from Penguin Software, called Transylvania or something like that, and it was a really atmospheric vampire adventure game. And one of the cool things about it is that the floppy drive made these noises when it that just sounded like eerie, spooky noises.
Yes.
And I never figured out whether they programmed that intentionally or if that's just what the disc sounded like.
Because it was running all the time. We have a first-time viewer talking here.
Oh, cool. What's he saying?
Nostalgia Not. Hey, shout out to the Coles. I wanted you to know how special you and your games have been in my life. Quest for Glory was instrumental in what got me into creative writing and eventually teaching. And I thought this would be a great chance to let you know. Thanks for being great.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Nostalgia Not. I'm just wondering, since you're a first-time chatter here and based on the previous first-time chat, where's the link to the site we're supposed to visit to... but no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Am I trading the same hat?
Yeah.
It's Lori's hat now. Ah! That's terrible.
Yeah.
So I do actually have hair. There is hair even on top here. It's just fine and blonde because I'm really a natural blonde.
As we could tell.
And
those bots are getting smarter. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you put that introduction in and then you start. There was,
introduction?
The introduction. Never mind. You're not following.
I don't get it.
Oh, well. Nah, no spam. I recently found you guys on here and was thrilled to log in to see you were live. Yeah,
well,
thank
awesome.
you.
Nice
We're
to have
glad
you.
to have
Yeah.
you. Yeah. We do this
this is just a community of friends that come by and watch us carry on and talk about nothing important. Blather, yes, blather. Um, and that participate in the chat. So
yeah,
please
and
do that.
We'll have fun and games. And
we're going to do some games later, and
yes.
they're all
But you were going to say the anecdotes about.
Oh, the anecdote that I was going to say about Ultima Underworld, I got into relatively late, but I created my character, and then there was a cool tutorial section of the game where before you got into the real dangerous world, you went through something that basically taught you what the combat commands were and how to interact with characters and stuff like that. And as I got towards the end of it, I started seeing characters that didn't look like they were newbies like me. And it turned out that there was a glitch that experienced characters could come into this and there was one unkillable monster in there for tutorial purposes that they could beat up on and just keep fighting for an hour at a time and maximize several of their stats by doing that. So it wasn't all starter players in there. But the moment I got out of the tutorial, I ended up in this totally deserted village, and there were buildings that were like the in the Ultima games, and I wandered into one. Appeared to be selling skins or something. Another one was a blacksmith shop, but there were no NPCs there. I thought that was kind of weird, and I'd been given a quest when I came out of the tutorial that said to talk to another player and give him this thing, and that they could exchange something to you. So that was basically teaching interactivity. So I tried to do that with some people, and didn't get any response from most of them. And then finally one responded and says, you noob, you better stay here inside town where I'm not allowed to attack you, because the moment you set foot outside town, I'm going to, frag your ass, or something along those lines. And I just thought that was such a nice, friendly greeting. And it turned out there were no NPCs in the town because players had killed every single one of the storekeepers.
Yeah.
So, complete realistic simulation, maybe not such a great idea.
Yeah, there was one person that was also a developer on Explorati who had been one of the biggest griefers in Ultima Online that there ever was, and they had a griefer guild that they would, really, have alt-and-alt wars with other groups, and then they changed their whole thing, and they became the protectors, and they protected all the noobs from the other griefers.
Going after all the other griefers,
yes,
yeah.
So... Yeah.
But he talked about in, I can't remember if it was EverQuest or Ultima Online, that people would create trains of monsters. So basically you would go and attack some monsters and get them concentrating on you, and then start leading them all through out of their high-level zones and into the beginner zones, and then do the equivalent of in World of Warcraft, a hunter can feign death. At which point he completely loses the attention of the monsters, and they proceed to fixate on whoever else is there, and kill all the new players.
Or I think it was Ultima Online that had the boat problem, where people would drive their boats into the isthmuses and park their boats there, and basically they would stack up boats so that nobody could pass there. So they would deliberately,
Or they'd build the houses once they had, player housing that you could build to completely block routes with all the houses. So Golden Drake said, was talking about Ultima Underworld, fantastic game. And yes, we agree with that. We loved Ultima Underworld. Yeah. But we are talking about Ultima Online. But Ultima Underworld was, the moment that we saw Wolfenstein 3D, which of course caused half of the... developers at Sierra to do nothing else but play Wolfenstein 3D for days or weeks. We said, that's kind of boring, but what if you took that interface and did it with a role-playing game? That would be awesome.
And Ultima Underworld.
And Ultima Underworld basically did that, and quite nicely. And one of the cool things about Ultima Underworld is that it wasn't like Dungeon Master and such are all steps. They're all basically grid squares that you move one square at a time, whereas Autumn Underworld was smooth movement.
I had a friend
and
who was
3D.
griefed by dressing in robes and making a ton of copies of the Book of Jim, or some other name, and would go around and leave them on people's corpses, on people's doorsteps. Okay?
Well, that's a relatively mild griefing.
Yeah. The cult
it
of
annoys
Jim.
them, but it doesn't actually destroy their experience.
Yeah.
Like killing them every time they try to fight a beginning monster.
Yeah, or kill the ones that would corpse camp.
Yeah.
Dead people, wait for the person to come back to their corpse.
Well, we used to do some battle. Lori was it's funny because Lori doesn't do player versus player gaming at all up until she started doing Battlegrounds in World of Warcraft and got the Of the Horde title, meaning she killed more than 100,000 Alliance characters. But one of the things that would happen if you had an unbalanced game in, say, Warsong Gulch is that one side would kill the entire other side and then would go to their graveyard where they respawn and would just corpse camp. And the instant somebody came back from the dead, boom, dead again.
Yep.
And we played on the losing side of a number of those battles.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
My runtime in Wolf 3D Episode 1 under 5 minutes back in the day.
Wow.
Nice. I didn't even know it had a goal. I just thought it was, like wizardry. And of course, wizardry was 3D back in the, I want to say early 80s, or was it late 70s?
The best troll in WoW was Chair. He was famous across the entire server cluster. He was a Horde player who would sit in trade chat and provide unsolicited facts about the chairs in the game. There are 12 chairs in Orgrimmar.
Well, 12 interactable chairs, probably.
Maybe. There aren't a lot of chairs if I think about it, Because, if it had been
because, it's orc architecture.
Yeah, orc architecture.
People don't sit down. There's some in the barber shop, but those were added later.
Yeah. This was pre-Kata, I figured. So this is the original area.
So before they had cats and dogs in the game?
Yeah. Figurative or literal? I assume that's literal, because I'm thinking about Orgrimmar.
Well, no, but it's the best troll is what they're asking about.
The best troll, yeah.
Was he really the best troll? Literally the best troll?
He
I don't
actually
know.
was a troll in the game, yeah.
Yeah, I have a troll. My druid is a troll.
And my PvP troll, yeah. I did a lot of trolling with him.
Mojo Joey.
Mojo Joey, so anyway,
Yeah, I'm on.
we are at 2:30, so we could actually play a game.
Oh, Molly's boyfriend is asking her to watch a movie.
Well, make openly, it's a good movie. It's worth watching.
It's probably more entertaining. Well, it's probably better. What do I want to say?
Night Elf,
better
and
plotted
and Blood
than our
Elf.
chats.
My first hunter was a Night Elf. Every other hunter I've had, and I have many, have not been Night Elves.
Yeah, I thought Larry was
John Carter, and I'm showing it to him for the first time.
on Carter Mars. Okay, we didn't see that.
Although I loved the books, I could not get into the movie, and I did watch part of the. I loved the books when I was a kid. Yes. My friend in St. Louis thanks you for your fandom. Okay, good. Well, we're trying to. Undead. Lots
fair.
of undead, yeah.
That would be, of course, the great St. Louis Exposition. It's the fair.
He's a fan of the
Meet
classics.
me in St. Louis.
Yeah, the books are a different beast. They are, yes. Edgar Rice Burroughs, my gosh. As a kid, I read them all. Had quite a collection. So, yes.
I'm fixated on Judy Garland now.
You are. You're going to be meet me in St. Louis. Meet me at the fair. Yes.
It's a fair rendition.
Uh-huh.
The great ERB.
Yes.
Or the horrible, terrible one, depending on, who you ask. That was just, sexist and racist and a few other things.
Yeah. I got into the books from the film, so it was a solid intro at least.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Whereas I got in the books because I got a one of those easy reader versions of Tarzan originally, and I thought, oh, this is okay. And then I read the actual book, and I mean, he actually was a very good, well, entertaining writer. So yeah, he was. My dad read the books, Mars series, while on airship during the Korean War. He brought them back to me when I was a kid, and had been a fan ever since. Now, my father introduced me to Tarzan as a book. And of course, when we could, we did watch Tarzan with Johnny Weissmuller on television when it came up. Yeah.
For me, it was all about women. I had a girl in junior high school that I thought was kind of cute, and she was always reading in class. And one of the things she was reading was Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
So she convinced me to read Lord of the Rings. I didn't know The Hobbit existed, so I read Lord of the Rings and then The Hobbit, just reverse order. And then later I read. I went through the library in order, reading all the science fiction fantasy books alphabetically by author. So I got into Asimov fairly early, and I read, it was Foundation, Empire, Second Foundation. And I can't remember what my reasoning was, but I ended up reading the second book first, and then the first book.
Oh, wow.
The titles confused me.
John Carter. Yep, the books were, of course, better, and I'm still disappointed with that title. They didn't have the courage to go with the original, far superior and more descriptive, but gasp, feminine, title of Princess of Mars. There's a myth that movies with Mars in the title do poorly.
There was a myth, non-myth, that games with darkness in the title or shadows in the title did poorly about the time we came out with Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness. There were several games with similar titles to that, all of which did poorly. As for Zelazny Late, I actually only got about halfway through the alphabet, as I recall. I think I got up to Laumer or so. But I did read Zelazny probably much later.
Yeah, much later.
I read the Amber books and such, but probably college or so. Yay, alma mater. Lori wanted to play a game.
I thought we would.
Do we still need my WoW characters up?
No, we don't need your WoW characters up. Have a happy stream, everyone. Thank you, Molly. Have fun.
Yep. Enjoy the film.
Or not enjoy the
film.
Or enjoy
showing the film.
Yes, and yak over it if you don't enjoy it. Oh, a flying corgi. Zelazny and Gordy Dixon are some of my greatest reading regrets because they died before finishing their series. Yeah, well.
All right, so my Gordon R. Dixon memory was that I was working in Chicago and found out that there was a mini science fiction convention in Chicago, or was up in Wisconsin? I think it was in Chicago. It was, ChiCon or something, but it was their mini that you have to click in the box before you type.
I'm typing.
Oh, you're typing here. I thought you were over there.
No.
Well, you look like you're looking at that screen. So, and Gordon R. Dixon was the guest of honor, and at one point he and I sat down in the hallway and just chatted about things for a while.
Wow.
And every once in a while, people would come up and talk to him. But it was just, that's the neat thing about authors and really about game developers too, is that we're actually just people. Lightning Hoof. You're missing an N.
Oh, well, they'll figure it out.
That's Lightning Hoof.
Yeah, Lightning Hoof.
And Garrosh.
Garrosh, yeah. Those are our principals.
And Cenarian Circle.
Cenarian Circle is another one. Yeah, I'm alt friendly.
What does she have? About 8 hunters, I think.
Yeah, actually, it's about the right count.
Yep. She likes hunters, mostly because she likes pets.
Well, yeah, it used to be that hunters were quite a challenge to catch the right pet and to go all over the place.
So yes, we used to sing at Philks. Gordy Dixon, Gordy Dixon, Gordy Dixon is the one. Science fiction is his hobby, but his main job's having fun. And he did have fun.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Silverhand, we've been there forever, but it's, of course, Silverhand is the Horde, is for the Horde.
Yep, and Garrosh originally was our Alliance server, but I split off, and I have a few Horde characters there.
Yep. Haven't played in ages.
My troll used to be a night elf.
Rekindling the account and see what's going on these days. It depends whether you like soloing the game and like doing your own thing. It's getting a little bit repetitious right now because this past year or so it's been very hard on WoW. So
let's see. The other similar memory I have is Gene Wolfe. And I love the song by Julia Ecklar as something like Sword of the Elector.
Yeah. Shadow of the...
It's from the Gene Wolfe's Shadow of the Torturer series.
Yes.
And so Gene Wolfe I met at a Worldcon or an ASFIC in Anaheim, and on one of the party nights he was just kind of hanging out in the hallway, and so I chatted with him for several minutes.
I at Worldcon at Phoenix, I actually sat at there was a banquet for I guess the Hugo Awards, and I sat at the table with Gene Wolfe.
Mm-hmm. Great guy, wonderful conversationalist, and for all the rather depressing books that he wrote.
Yeah, I'll tell you the best.
Well written.
Yes, I had a meal with an author. It was The Last Unicorn.
Peter Beagle.
Peter Beagle. We had lunch with him once at a BayCon, or actually a PhilCon, I believe. He was the guest of honor for.
We had a dim sum, I think, with Paul Anderson and who else?
I didn't. Yeah. No, Paul. I've never met Paul Anderson.
You haven't? Oh.
No. So I don't know what memory that was.
It was a convention in Berkeley.
No, with only one
Well, we
dim
went
sum
to the
I
one in
can remember
Oakland.
was with the Richard Stallman.
Oh yeah, Richard Stallman.
From the internet fame of the web.
All software should be free.
Yes.
Except that then he charges a fortune for consulting.
Consulting, that's how he made his money.
His free software.
Yes. Elder Scrolls Online is great if you ever fancy getting an MMO that feels more like an offline single-player game in terms of quests and writing. Hey. That is what Star Wars: The Old Republic was. It was the best solo
MMO
that there ever was.
Yeah.
Up until the last few things where they strewed over your character.
And it was all about the companion characters.
Yes.
And each one of them had their own storyline, and your character had a storyline depending on class.
Yeah,
and we could play that for many, many hours of unique content.
Yes. Yeah, and you still can play it. So if you're ever looking for a solo experience that just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, the trick is don't try to shortcut it all. Play through it in order. Do all the leveling zones and stuff like that, and
you'll find all of your companion characters have real stories, and it's a really, really well thing. And the worlds are crafted so beautifully. It's it's a work of love.
So I'm trying to figure out all those emotes from Golden Drake. Do you have a character on Silverhand?
Yeah. And used to raid, but kind of hit my pride around wizards.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Wrath of the Lich King. Well, Wrath of the Lich King.
Watlick.
Watlick was.
As opposed to Swatter.
Was the best of all. Best expansion of the for consistency and story.
I spent an awful lot of time in Alduar. There's a great song about Alduar.
Yes, but we won't sing it.
Great folk.
Yes,
I can't sing it, but you could look it up on YouTube.
Yes.
Alduar folk.
You guys have played so many MMOs. I love it.
No, we haven't played very many MMOs actually.
We've only played a few, but we
played very deeply into a couple of them.
Did you get into City of Heroes in its heyday? We never actually saw it. No.
We heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of friends who played it.
Yeah.
We just never got into it. We did a little bit of a tabletop City of Heroes type role playing.
Yeah. Superhero thing a little bit. We didn't do much because we were moving at the time.
I can't remember my character.
Well, that's because you can still play City of Heroes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had our friend that liked to minimax everything, and so he borrowed the Champions rules and proceeded to come up with an absolutely minimaxed character that just had defects.
It was it was a point system. You could have a point and allocate it for getting your skills. And he managed to get this, for a 200-point character, a beginning character.
Whatever
he had a super here. He had
Yeah.
Superman. So if you do it,
he had one that played like triple the points.
yes. The game exists again as a free fan run game and is good as ever. Okay.
Well, good for them.
And if you've got alt-itis and make a ton of alts in MMOs, yes, City of Heroes is positively addictive. That is one of my thing. Yeah, but I want my alts to actually have some differentiation and some distinction from between each other that make them worth playing.
So yeah, when World of Warcraft was in beta, some of the people I worked with were playing it and talked to me about it, and some people that Lori knew. And I basically said, I don't want to do this. I have an addictive personality. Once I start playing, I won't be able to stop. It's salted peanuts. Mm-hmm. Eventually, Lori's co-author on the How to Be a Hero book, Michelle Baker, talked Lori into creating a character and meeting her in Stormwind, where they did real role-playing.
Except that I never actually met her, and I never actually got to role-play with her.
Yeah, so I did, in fact, set up an account, and we were out of beta. It was real WoW then. By then, it was out of beta, barely. And it was a while before the servers actually had enough room to let anybody on.
Yep.
But I got that and discovered that basically their idea of role-playing was to sit around the fountain at the auction house in Stormwind and chat.
Goldshire. Goldshire was the other one.
Goldshire was the one where people danced on top of the mailbox for tips and so on.
Yeah.
That was their idea of role-playing. Mm-hmm. And the problem is I discovered that was a lot of fun up to about character level 20. And after that, your character was so busy just trying to stay alive and do stuff and questing and things that you never had time to go into the city and just hang around the city.
Ah, yeah. So every character you make isn't just their class like most MMOs are. You can also pick a primary and secondary
This is City
power.
Heroes, right?
Yeah, set out of many options. So a huge part of creation is designing your own character for the long-term powers they can grow into. That's awesome. That really is the right way to do it.
Yeah, and D&D, mages are almost useless at low level. So your character can cast one spell. Yeah, on the original version of D&D, your character can cast one spell a day at first level, and then had to spend a half an hour the next morning rememorizing that one spell. Mm-hmm. And at second level, you could do 2 spells a day, and meanwhile, your fighter could come in and swing his sword and constantly fight.
Yes, it wasn't a very balanced game originally.
Right, but at high levels, like when you got around level 12, if you survived that long, your wizard became super powerful and could just blow anything away, while your fighter basically couldn't even get into range of the casters.
So yeah. They have a purpose, something easy for the monsters to kill before they move on to the rest of the party. Yes, that is the purpose of the mages. Well, it's actually the purpose of the warriors was to stand between and take all the damage. And so therefore you actually had it does require a party. It does require cooperation and people actually playing their classes, as opposed to current, role-playing games where, anybody can do anything in the game now. I mean, WoW originally was designed with a thought that it was kind of rock, paper, scissors, and that shamans were better than...
well, certainly in PvP.
Yes, yeah.
Our friend played a rogue, and he was very upset that he couldn't kill paladin.
He used to be able to kill paladins. So rogues could kill paladins, and paladins could...
but normally they couldn't.
Well, all right.
Whereas a magic user had my magic user had no problem at all against my wizard, whatever it's called. Had no problem whatsoever against a paladin. He went into his bubble of invulnerability, and I would just start casting a 6-second long pyroblast spell. Time to go off right after he came out of his bubble, and he'd be deleted.
Yeah, or down in the I had the paladin that tried to kill my hunter, and basically he started chasing me, and my pet's chasing him and biting at his ankles, and I'm just running. I refused to let him to get close contact, but he wouldn't stop chasing me, and of course I'm shooting him every once in a while.
Lori mastered the somersault shot that allowed her to flip
spin around
over,
and then
shoot behind her, and then keep going.
keep running, and so therefore,
So she would hit a daze. Or...
He was so stupid. I actually killed him. It's like, why?
Half an hour later, he
half
caught
an
up
hour
to finally her pets and
my pets and my shots killed it. Yes.
But,
I tried Swatter when it came out, but I felt the quests were much too MMO-y. Yeah, kill 10 lizards, at least initially, yes. And many of the quests are, but it was the character interaction that really made it. WoW has changed so much over the decade plus that it's been running. It's evolved. And really what they're trying to do is make a better game.
Well, they also made it so that you can zoom through the leveling part of it.
Yes, but what they're trying to do is make it more fun. And so all the things that were annoying to players, they tried to smooth it over. And some of that works. Sometimes accommodating your players really makes the game better. And other times it makes the game oriented to the squeaky wheels that are the bigger talker. So therefore you have dungeons that are too tough for the normal things people to do it.
We go through that problem with every game we make. Question is, do you make it easy and straightforward? And we actually thought we did that with Heroes Quest. We thought we were making easy mode adventure where everything was completely fair. All the clues you needed were in the game. What we didn't count on was that the scope of the game was larger than other adventure games, and so it took you a while to find all those clues. You didn't necessarily put them together. And B, that the combat part of our games was actually really hard.
Yeah.
And I never thought of it as hard, but a lot of players have told us that we made really challenging, difficult games.
Yeah.
But players love that sense of mastery you get from having a challenge that's tough and overcoming it.
But on the other hand, if it's too tough, you
don't overcome it.
You don't overcome it and you give up. Let's see. Some kind of cave demon says Hunters was his favorite back in the day when there were special rare pets that you could find and tame, like Broken Tooth. Yes! And yes, I would go after those rare and special pets and try to get them because they had different abilities.
They had special ability, and then they kind of homogenized them all.
And then they became, pointless. So some of the decisions they made were totally wrong, and the one of homogenizing all pets so all pets are alike just totally took out the value of taming pets.
Yeah, then they ended up with the Pokemon-style pet battles, which Lori got into, and I was like, why do that? And eventually I got bored ran out of content to do, and started trying the pet battles, and at which point I became obsessed with collecting every pet in the game. And I haven't done that, but I've got well over 1,000. I have a lot of pets. And you don't actually battle with them because you got so many that you end up having about 20 that are your favorites that you use all the time.
So the Hedgehog says, my main used to be a healer priest, but it got nerfed so hard after Burning Crusade, he ended up switching to a tank. Yeah.
I'm having problems with this expansion. I've been maining a shaman, and I'm an elemental shaman and also a restoration healer shaman, and I discovered I'm totally mediocre at both of those. There's this thing called Raider.io and Warcraft logs that keep track of, basically everyone's accomplishments, and Warcraft logs has what they call the parse, which says, how did you do on this particular boss compared with other people in the same role and with similar equipment levels, and I was just constantly getting 10 or 15 or 20 out of 100 parse, and and feeling totally depressed about it. But we were beating the bosses, so it was good enough.
Yeah, I can't deal with that. I solo games.
Yeah, and constantly being kicked from groups because my numbers aren't high enough.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm an old guy and I don't have fast enough reflexes.
5 expansions in with no shortcuts added makes for a long, long grind. They've put in a shortcut with the latest expansion. You now start out in a beginner situation in an island. I haven't actually played it. Did you play the starter?
I played it in beta, and then I never got it out.
I never actually made a new character.
I created about 2 new characters, but I did it for specific reasons that I needed to be in the starter zone, so I didn't go there.
And there were 50 characters you were allowed to have, and I had every one of them. I could not start another character without deleting a couple.
Yeah, and there was a limit to 10 per server, and then the thing is, you get synergy by having multiple characters on one server.
Yes.
So, for instance, one character is an alchemist, another one's a leather worker.
Yes, and you can mail things to your alts, but you can't mail them across servers. So that was very tricky. But now they've opened up the servers, and most of the servers are connected, so that isn't a real problem.
Yeah, so now you can have, I think, up to 50 on
10
one server.
server limit was removed,
yeah,
yes. And you can have all 50, but that only works if you're creating them now, or spending money to move them over
that's
to
what I was going to say, if you've been playing the game for 17 years, and you're on 10 servers, we don't use 7 of those.
I'm
but
5 servers, actually.
Yeah, we have like 3 or 4 that we actually, I have 2 servers I actually use.
Yeah.
So, Lori and I both created some alternate characters on, Horde characters on Lightning Hoof and Alliance and Snarrian Circle. I think we already had one character.
We started it on, because that's where we could put the newest classes when they added new classes in.
Yeah.
Derek Page says...
but we basically hardly ever play the new characters.
Derek says, I just want to thank you for creating my favorite childhood game. I even have the original
that would be mixed up fairy tales.
Yeah, Heroes Quest title for a long time on multiple floppy disks. The EJA is still my favorite, right out of the series for the nostalgia. Thank you kindly. You're very welcome. We do appreciate it. Yes, there's the Heroes Quest t-shirt, the official
t-shirt.
This
is our team t-shirt.
Team t-shirt.
HQ. I think it didn't have words on some of them.
No, it didn't.
I thought some of...
That was the other shirt.
Oh, it was the Team Dragonfire.
Yeah, Team Dragonfire had the
one that
team
some were missing.
Yeah.
But this one had the HQ logo that somebody created, maybe Terry, and that was never used again.
I never played WoW at the time. Playing monthly to play a game was blasphemy. I think I missed out. Yeah. Well, I know.
Well, it's the river experience. You can never stand in the same stretch of river twice.
Yeah.
So we discovered that with D&D. Is that we totally loved making new characters in Dungeons and Dragons and doing fighting goblins and working our way up to orcs because they were hard and stuff like that. And then years later went back and with some of our friends who were experienced players trying to recreate the starting character, first level character experience, and we couldn't because we knew too much.
Yes, partially it was the sense of wonder and things like that you need to have in a game. The other thing was that
it really wasn't actually that much fun.
Yeah, and
playing a character who can die in one hit.
Who can't do anything. Yes, because we're used to, we're spoiled.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think Quest for Glory 2 is the one that was hit its best for me.
So, Nostalgia Not, have you tried the Anonymous Game Developers VJ version of QFG2?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really beautiful version of it. I had problems because combat was too tough, so I didn't make it very far.
Other than combat, they did a wonderful job. They really tried their best to make it the right way. So I mean, they even have all the Easter eggs that we would have wanted in the game and everything else. So.
And they made it dual mode, so you can either play it with the parser or point and click.
Ah, okay.
So. Very good job in that.
It's such a work of art, all of this.
For which they got nothing,
yes.
So it's
and a lot of hard times. It took them forever to do it because it's so hard when you're volunteering and you're doing it in your spare time. Yeah.
I found WoW Classic basically not involving. We had some Quest for Glory players and such who were creating their own guild for WoW Classic, and I created a couple of characters and started them out and only managed to find like 2 of the other players that were in my guild, and then we ended up all doing stuff by ourselves anyway because everybody had already done the quests or they hadn't started the starting quest that I'd done.
There's a reason why the game changed, and that was to make it more fun, to make it easier to do things, and some of their decisions worked. The idea of originally, if you wanted to get in a group to go do a dungeon, you had to gather the group ahead of time, or you stand by the meeting stone and get other players to join you, and that made the game very different than once you can join the dungeon from any place in the game. The community died as the game got easier to play.
Yeah, they did some things that were great conveniences for experienced players who already knew what they wanted to do, but ruined the game for others, such as creating portals in the capital cities that would take you to almost anywhere in the game. And that totally lost the sense of adventure. We started out as night elves on Teldrassil, which is an island with a giant tree.
In the middle of nowhere.
And if you wanted to, and we started hearing about this thing called an auction house, and said, well, that sounds pretty cool. But the auction house was in the city of Ironforge. And what we learned is that in order to get to Ironforge for the first time, you had to go overland through the wetlands, which is like a level 16 zone.
And you're level 5.
Well, we're level 10, I think.
All right.
But basically, all the monsters...
every monster
could
from
see
mile
us.
around.
Yeah, because the monsters can see you from a mile away because they do that when they're higher level than you. They have
so
huge
you would have a death run to Ironforge.
and you would basically die over and over and over, and then keep trying to resurrect a little farther along each time. And eventually, we made it to Ironforge. So that was just
a different game experience.
It was a horrible experience,
but it was exciting as it could be.
Yeah, it was exciting, and the variations in that are where you're actually traveling to different dungeons. Other players are attacking you along the way and stuff like that. And, and you really get an experience like this is a real open world and there's stuff going on here, as opposed to now you teleport to your dungeon.
Yep.
And you never see any of the environments of that dungeon.
You never see another player. That was just it, you know. So, if the game's changed, better or worse, it's changed.
It's convenient, but it's not immersive.
Yeah, and I don't find the old system that immersive now. So
anyway, WoW Classic, tried it for a short time, lost interest.
When I was a kid, I kept trying to make Shapir out of Legos. Oh my gosh, that would be a monster task. Yes.
Well, it's the way of finally being able to find your way around the alleys.
Yes, by the time you were done, you'd probably know.
You'd have it memorized.
Where all of the various roads are.
Yeah, where Dinarzad is, and the Wit, and all that.
All right, so let's play. Which one do you want to
play?
What do you want to play? I was going to ask you.
Let's do the phrase.
Flummoxer?
Okay. This game called...
Oh, wait, is this going to work right? This does always,
This one works fine.
Okay.
Okay, Phrase Flummoxer, created by Cheeseness for us, based on Lori Speck, is a game similar to Wheel of Fortune or Hangman. And we're going to... I thought it fit.
It doesn't know.
Did on the other screen.
Okay, there.
Maybe I should use a longer phrase.
That might be, or maybe you need to move it actually onto this screen. Maybe the only way to get it to do that.
No, this is.
So
anyway, you're going to guess letters. We're going to have a list of letters guessed down here, and try to fill in a phrase that's from one of our games or from something relevant in literature.
Yeah.
Yes,
it does. The address, if you'll see
I never
at the
did
top.
actually log in my bot, so let's see if my bot will log in.
The address is cheesetalks.net because Cheeseness developed this. Valiant Cheese developed it for us, yes.
And
I heard about Wordle? I've heard about it. It's like Hangman mixed with Scrabble, and it's the latest hit. I've heard about it.
Well, actually, as I understand it, it is basically Word Mastermind. Wordle is Word Mastermind.
Oh, it is?
And I played a version of Word Mastermind that was on the web quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was a little addicted to it.
I played it as a kid. We used to play Word Mastermind, actually.
Yep. So is that a free game, Wordle?
I don't know, but there's, Mastermind, somebody said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, of course, I used Mastermind.
Wordle! All right, guess the Wordle in 6 tries. Okay, interesting.
Actual words, and it gives you green, yellow, or gray.
Yeah, it is Boggle. I mean, the Wordle. Huh.
Okay, the letter U is not in the word in any... Oh, there, just as an example.
Yeah, so okay, interesting. Okay, so let's
so
go back to our game.
I could come up here and do...
Fishy!
And
then
do I have
does
to
it...
click
You
something?
probably have to say enter.
It tells me I is the only letter of that, and it's in the wrong place.
Ooh, okay. So, at any rate...
So now I can try... P...
Corey, we're gonna play a game with everybody
There's only
else.
6 tries in this. This won't take long.
Train.
Train, yes.
Okay.
Enter.
Ooh.
There's an A and an I and an N, and an I belongs there.
Wow.
So can we solve it from that many clues? Anyone have a solution?
The N is in the wrong place, so it isn't
but
at
the
the
I
end.
is in the right place. So And the
I and then that.
IT. Could be a, oh no, there's no T's.
Yeah, no T's. It's got an I, but that's an interesting position for an I, unless it's an S. What is it? Has no S's, so it doesn't have the standard things. But it does have an N, and the N isn't at the end. And an A. A gain. Maybe it has two.
Oh, maybe it's two.
No, N doesn't. N can't be.
Oh. I suppose I should come up with a word first.
Yeah, it has to have an I where it is. So we know the I's where it is.
Okay. Who wants to help me in this Wordle game? What's my next? India, somebody said.
Yeah, sorry for disrailing it. We're easy to disrail, you can see.
India. We'll try that.
Okay.
I don't know. That's the proper name. I don't know if it's legal. Well, but India Inc.
Yeah.
The A does not belong there, and the N doesn't belong there. So therefore,
N is at the beginning.
No, A is at the beginning.
N isn't at the end, so I can see it could be.
N can be in the middle.
It could be.
The first letter has to be A.
Okay.
So
process of elimination.
And I think the second letter, third letter has to be N.
Okay.
And it doesn't work that way. A blank, N I blank.
Do we have an? No, it doesn't have an R.
There's no R.
And no S.
Haven't used L. Panic. No, panic is not a. No, A has to be in the. Oh, A could be second letter. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's try panic. We only have 6 tries here, so.
You got it.
You got it. Yay! Bell XR wins a prize. We have 100% win percentage.
Yes, we're good at this.
4 turns. And there's a new Wordle coming up in 9 minutes. So I guess I see. So these contests are simultaneous for different people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Glorious winner. Bell XR is our winner. We will give him a game code for guessing our word.
We could.
Okay, so I'm going to open a queue, or do I not bother? Let's see how many people join a queue if I create one. This is going to be, it's not for Magic Match It, this is for Phrase Flummoxer.
Refreshes at midnight, so that's why the next one is going to be up. So, interesting.
I have some leftover people. Let's get them out of the queue. Okay, I'm going to open the queue for Phrase Flummoxer. You'll type in !play.
And that will put you in the queue. And then
OSU Brainiac is, as usual, first in the queue. Paul of Colchester is in there.
Derek Page is in there. Yay, people.
Wait, Derek Page is there? Okay, these haven't caught up yet. Oh, Lorian Wise. Okay, we have at least 6 people, at least 7 people in our queue. Let's get some more. Everybody into the queue.
Yes, so you too.
The water's fine. It says there are 34 people here. We should have at least 32 people in our queue.
Or,
Or maybe 10.
Yeah, maybe 10.
Okay, can we get... Oh, there we go. There's our 9th player.
Good.
Does it start with 0? Yeah, it starts with 0. So
and there we go. There we are.
Number 10. Yay, Nostalgia Knot.
So we will now start the game.
Should I close the queue?
No, leave it open.
Okay. I think if we do next, it works okay with the queue open. If we do pick random, it's bad.
Yes, do next.
All right, our first 3 names are...
Keep them coming. All right, our first 3 names are, of course, OSU Brainiac, Paul of Colchester, and Belixar.
Okay, so each of you is in turn going to guess 2 letters in the chat. OSU Brainiac shows how it's done by typing E and T. And those are both in there. OSU Brainiac gets another turn.
We not only show you where they are, but...
But if you're in the queue and it's not quite your turn, think about what this message might be and what letters you want to guess.
Yes, you want to solve the phrase.
And you want to queue up letters very quickly rather than agonizing for hours.
Here I go.
Keep going, Bell. OSU. Rather than agonizing for hours because everybody else has to wait for you if you agonize.
And everybody else is thinking of their letters and thinking...
And this is really a cooperative game.
There is no E. There is no E before that E.
Right, that is the first E of the phrase.
There's a long word in the beginning that has no E in it.
H-A.
H.
A.
There we go. There's its vowel.
Okay, there's an A in the first word. And there could be any number of A's after that, but none in the first 2 letters.
And we
So
show
first
you
word is not
your
aardvark.
letter frequency as you as we fill out the phrase. Yes.
We do?
Well, it shows you down here.
Well,
what
how
is
much they've been used,
You've
yeah.
been used, yes. Therefore, you could learn something about these things.
Wow, distant, MK.
Ah,
B&W. Okay, trying a few weirder words. Is there a B? Yes, the
there
very
is
first
a B. Yeah,
letter is B.
wow.
There could be any number of B's in here. And the very last letter is
Ooh,
W.
you went from extremes.
That is the only W in the entire message.
Yes, you can't find another
But it's their
W.
turn.
Yes. Can't he run this? It is very easy to run certain letters.
You're doing really well. You haven't heard a single Turk yet, OSU.
Yeah, really.
Or Brainiac, we should call him.
Oh, that's right. We need to get that sound effect. We need to get Cheeseness to add the sound effect when you bring up a Turk.
Oh,
To get that laugh.
have him laughing?
M and G, yes.
M. There's an M. Is there a G? There's a G.
Oh,
Every letter you've chosen so far is there.
Well, though we can do it manually, we could cue it up
Oh, yeah.
and then play the
But
sound.
I'd have
cue.
to have been prepared.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
All right.
That leaves me out.
Bag. It's a bag.
Baggins?
Bag.
Baggins
to
is Bag Hollow.
you.
Y. There is a Y. There is an S.
All right.
You have guessed 12 letters.
Bag
All of them are in it.
to my...
Should we quit Brainiac and go on to the next player?
Well, no, we can have Paul start to cue his.
Okay,
though.
Paul can cue up letters
And
anytime you
Y
want.
can continue to try to run the board, but Paul gets to do his guesses.
Yeah, you can kind of alternate them.
Retro Rent says,
Hey,
just
Ret.
stopping by to send love. Can't wait to play Summer Daze with my daughters. I'm sure you'll love it. I'm sure they'll love it. P&R says Paul.
Paul of course.
Oh!
Oh, not a single P. Okay.
We found the letter that isn't there.
I and L.
That means we need to go on to Belsar.
Belsar can guess something and see whether you can eliminate yourself in one letter.
Yes.
Whereas OSU has done 14 letters with no misses.
Yeah. Just my luck. Yeah, really. I was pretty lucky, I have to say. The only letter. Yeah. R. There's the R.
There's an R, and there are no C's.
Wow.
Belsar is eliminated, but Brainiac is still in
Right,
there.
is still doing it.
I just want to say, there's a reason he's called the Brainiac.
Yeah, he's just
A
lucky.
and a B.
And they are there.
They are there.
All
No,
right.
so if you look down below it, you can see there are
need
two
to-
A's. There's a little tiny thing you might not be able to read. That's a subscript, A2, B2.
All right, we need to get some more people playing this game.
3 more players.
Yes. Show off. I think I can solve it. Yeah. As such,
You're
I
probably
pass.
right.
Yes, he probably.
Okay, the next 3 players are...
Adventure Sings, Derek Page, and Lorian Wise. Adventure Sings, give us 2 letters and see if you can run this
See if
board.
you can do as well as
And
OSU.
Brainiac solved the game, so therefore he's not going to do any more. U and K, says Adventure Sings.
UK.
UK.
U is there.
There.
K.
K.
No
It's
K.
not there. Congratulations.
We've eliminated everyone except Brainiac in their first try.
Yay.
All right, who are we up to? Derek K.
It's your turn. This is quite interesting.
You're embarrassing people, Brainiac.
You picked all the good letters.
X and Z. Is there an X? No X's.
There are no X's. We are continuing this sequence. Yay.
Shooting things
I've
is the
got
report.
the... Yes, Shooting
Lorian, you're up. Pick some letters.
Yeah, Lorian, see if you can get the right letters. Well, I'm
In
sure
the past,
that,
when
that
someone has made
Derek
it wrong,
certainly...
in the past when someone has guessed the first letter wrong, I've also done their second letter, but that's
But no.
actually against the rules.
You.
U.
There is no...
There are no me or U's. There's only one U in the entire message. And Lorian Wise is eliminated.
Adventure Sing needs not the sentences too. Okay. All right.
Well, we'll reopen the queue if these next 4 people can't get it.
Schumann is next, followed by Ricky, followed by PBS. Derp, I get it. Solved. Oh, no. People are getting it. Yes.
And Nostalgionaut has solved it, and you are 4th up, Russ.
Okay.
So if the first 3 don't get it,
Schumann will take a B.
A B and a B. Okay, is there a B?
There
There's a
is a
B.
B.
Is there another B? Yes, there
There's
is.
another B.
And you can go again.
Or you can guess the phrase because you might be able to figure it out too.
Oh, and we got a pyramid from Helgraf Dragon.
I'll take another 2 B's.
Okay, 2B.
All right.
Oh, There are no more bees. There are 4 bees total in the message.
Yeah.
And all of them, 3 of them are in the first line.
What do you know? And so we are now at Ricky.
Ricky DeRocher. DeRocher?
Oh, darn. Yeah, there was only so much alliteration to go, you know?
Lori loves to alliterate.
Yes.
It's in her name.
Yep. So, at any rate, Ricky, your turn. Give us a couple of
Followed
letters.
by PBS and
PBS,
Nostalgia
yeah.
Knot. Nostalgia Knot.
I know what game and what the character, but I don't remember the words. Okay.
Well, that's okay because you're not in the queue yet, but you'll get in the next queue, and by then you'll know it.
Yes.
Schumann is trying to keep himself from looking at the script. That's good, because you really shouldn't cheat by looking at the script.
Oh, thank you, Retro Rents.
Wow!
Ow!
Many, many gifts.
Many. Yes.
Thank you for all those gifts, Retro Rants. See, there's a... Now, you should only give it to people who are in the queue and playing the game. The other people don't deserve them.
Yeah,
A&I for Ricky.
A&I.
Artificially intelligence.
You
They're
got
both
it.
there.
Can you get the thing yet? Or do you want to just keep going?
You can guess
keep
the
going.
phrase or guess some more letters.
Get some more letters.
Oh, you want more A&Is? He wants another A and another
he wants
I.
Another A and I. Okay.
Another A, another I. Oh! No more I's. Only 2 I's.
There were. So now we're at PBS.
Okay, Retro Ends. Oh, yes. Everybody can type. I'm going to close and reopen the queue just so people know that they can get in the queue.
Okay.
So get in the game queue by typing ! play. Who was up?
We're at PBS.
PBS 53 followed by Nostalgia Knot. So PBS, we need some guesses. Oh, excuse me. S and R, we have it.
Okay.
See if I don't scroll past it.
Yes.
You get to go again, PBS.
Oh, subscribed with Prime. They're subscribed for 8 months.
Yay.
You too can get free things, free shipping for
I'm running out of letter guesses because I can't see them.
And there he is. PBS, yes.
M.
Uh-huh.
E. They're both there.
Okay.
Where's the M? Oh, the M is in the first line.
No, the M was this M,
yeah.
I think.
Oh, no, you're right. End of the second line.
That, yeah. That M.
Okay, PBS can keep going, and Nostalgia Knot could put a guess in here somewhere.
Yeah.
This is really a cooperative game.
Yes.
It's not really about winning or losing. It's about
S and L.
the great sense of discovery when...
L.
Oh! No more L's.
No,
there's only one L in the entire phrase.
Okay. Derek Page subscribed to Tier 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek Page.
All right. Nostalgia Knot said G and O.
G and O. G... O.
You got it.
You got them. And you have the first 2 words, first 3, 4 words.
All right. Can you go from there? Can you guess the phrase?
CMS Calvert like an N, but he's not in the queue. CMS Calvert, you have to type !play.
F and D.
F and D. F. There's an F.
There is.
That's the first F we found. D. Nobody's guessed D before, but it's there.
All right. Can you keep going? We're doing this in order, actually, Rentro. He is next. Okay.
See, I can tell what that word is already. It's got to be baldness. They're boasting of their baldness. Just like me.
Yes, indeed. All right, but Retro Rents
TNS for Retro Rents L.
Yes, but Nostalgia Knot, keep going. T.
S.
S.
They're both there.
It is. Keep going.
Retro Rents wasn't actually... Well,
he
next.
He's next, yes,
yeah.
So that's fine.
Okay.
But we need Nostalgia Knot.
Did PBS get eliminated?
Yeah, but we're looking for Nostalgia Knot was running it now.
Yeah, Nostalgia Knot is an O and a T.
O
and a T.
There we go. Yeah, starting to map this one out.
I think he has a clue where he's going, but
could be. He could. Well, I mean, some of those ones you can finish off, yes. But someone gift 1 bit to start a hype train. S and O's.
Hype train.
All right,
S-O from Retro. S-O. So you want to be a hero. Nostalgia Knot wants an O and an N.
O and N.
You got them
both.
both.
There you go.
All right, the entire first line. And...
Uh-huh.
It wasn't baldness after all. Ooh, Retro Reds Al gave multiple bits, but I don't see a hype train starting.
Oh, well.
Why not?
I don't know.
Where's my hype train?
Nostalgia Knot
GT.
goes GT.
GT. I think somebody just wanted somebody to give bits.
Maybe.
I don't really understand bits. We just run these things.
1 bit, 2 bits, 3 bits. A peso. All four Coronados stand up and say so.
Really?
Yep.
She went to Coronado High School.
Yes. And retro goes E and S.
E.
It needs to be a different person. Okay. And S. There we go. We keep going.
I don't know if it took the
It
E.
did.
I think I was possibly not on the right frame.
On T and O.
Nostalgia Not wants T-O. T and O.
Okay.
Good going. You're getting all these in order, which you guess you know what the entire phrase
I
is.
think you do.
Could just guess the phrase if you want.
Yes. You or retro have the right to guess a phrase. But then again, R and S. I forget the last part of it, damn it, yes.
R and S. There we go.
Okay. So, yes, we have one line that everybody needs to know.
Brogy IB. To boast of my... I still say it's baldness. I think I mistyped it, obviously. Strong as the storm.
Okay.
As we said, Lori loves alliteration.
Well, I mean, this is also was going off of my high school days of learning about
Beowulf
and
the sagas,
and the patterns of
Come on, folks, you can do it.
Strong as a storm that storms the storm.
That storms the storm.
Yes.
We do like playing
Retro, you can do it. You remember. Can we guess by the word? No, I know. I think we got most of it. You can if you want
I think
to, but you can guess by the word by still giving us letters and filling it out.
Okay, Nostalgia, give us 4 more letters in a row.
But Retro Rents is probably typing it out. T and H. Okay.
Okay, T, H.
All right. And so, yes.
All right, and Retro Rents Al says, Browgy I be, to bolster my boldness, strong as the storm that sends forth the snow. Now, can you figure out how I got this phrase? Sends forth us. That sounds right to me. Do we think it's right?
Yeah, I think it's right.
Reveal it. Yes. Retro Rents Al is the winner.
Yay! And yes,
and I put in the comment, he's as cold as ice. He wants to sacrifice your hero.
Yeah. Braugy's the frost giant. Yo, yes.
Fiercer in fighting than foes in their fury. Fear now this frost giant fighter and flee.
Yes, that was my better. Fiercer in fighting. That has the kind of alliteration.
Just had a Quest for Glory 1 save at the cave.
Well, congratulations.
Well, Braugy. Okay, now Braugy is not really a frost giant. Braugy is actually my dwarf rogue.
Yeah, well, he's a frost giant.
But I named him.
He had a cameo in Heroine's
I just thought it was funny to name a dwarf after a giant.
I can't tell you how many ways I tried to get into that cave because I wanted to see his homeland. Yeah, well, it was a little farther away. Yeah.
Now, I learned some things. Okay, so this phrase came, of course, because the theme of this talk was Go Snow.
Yeah.
And so I did a search for snow in transcripts of various games, and we decided we liked the Braugy ones. So I picked that. I also tried Frost and some other things. But in the course of that, I came up with some phrases about the the Dragon Smoke Mountains
yeah.
To the north, which I don't think we ever mentioned anywhere else in the game or anywhere else.
No.
And
there was. We were at Spielberg once, so I mean, it's not like. And besides, nobody.
And then there were some other mountains to the east that were the.
Heroine's Quest is his
Serpents.
homeland. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Fear now this frost giant fighter and flee, but don't actually bring me 50 apples instead. Yeah.
Oh, everybody likes apples. I mean, come on.
Yeah, frostbite. Yes.
Frostbite.
Yes. This is fun. I'm so happy I got to stay in here and nerd out a bit. I need to take off for now, but I'll be back again. You guys are great. Thanks again. Thank you for joining.
You did extremely well, Nostalgia Nod, although
you almost got it.
Brainiac almost ran the board.
Yeah, I know. Is Braugy a name from Scandinavian mythology? Yes, Braugy is. Braugy is a name from
which saga?
Elder Edda, probably, but I don't know. Braugi is a cool character in all meanings. I even thought that it would be great if any part of Quest for Glory series would be in his homeland. I suppose that Heroine's Quest can partly satisfy such a list.
And I think that the authors of Heroine's Quest probably had the same wish and decided just to do it.
Yeah, I did play around with the idea of going up there actually in a different game or for bringing characters from that area down into the School for Heroes.
The problem is that when it takes us 5 years to make a game these days, that we don't know how many 5-year periods we have left in us.
Yeah, I really need to pally that one all the way through. Loved that one. I can't tell you how much that game made a whole winter for me. Playing a Quest for Glory-esque game felt like coming home after 20 years, yeah. Amusingly, getting the first and last letters in one go has pretty much set me on the path. Yes, yes, indeed. All right, so, yeah.
BW, black and white.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, that was quite a game.
And
that was
that
a lot of fun,
the phrase Flumixer.
Yep.
Now, Cheese Nest, you should look up on itch.io because he has a game called Hive Time about bee colonies.
And he's working on another one.
And he's got some other cool games. And he's actually, he has a game that's sort of similar to Heroine's Quest or Braugi's Tale that's set in the north and that is uses basically mouse or joystick movement to be able to rotate the screen in any dimension and is a pretty cool interface.
Did we ever have a concept for location for potential Quest for Glory 6?
Always won something from us before.
Yes, we're going to 6 was going to be an Inja because we sort of took Woofy in the in Quest for Glory 5 had gone over there, so we were thinking of doing that. The other one was Egyptus, and that was if we were doing the kids. If we were doing the heroes' children, then we probably would have gone to Egypt instead.
Now, in these streams, we distribute the labor. Lori, a week or so in advance, comes up with a theme and illustrations for it. And I, after the stream, occasionally look at my inbox where I see all the messages from people who won prizes and say, really ought to send those out one of these days. So if you won the 2 weeks ago, one of these days I'll get around to sending out your prize.
Scion says it's sad that there aren't any good fantasy movies.
Well, there would have been a whole series of Asian-themed QFGs, like the original games that are all over Europe and Africa. We'd have them all over Asia.
Yeah. I love the fantasy movies from the 80s. I watched The Green Knight this week. I didn't like it. Well, the last movie I saw was Encanto, and it was beautiful. So, Encanto.
Oh, that is a Cheese Nest.
Okay.
Cheese
yes,
Nest.
I would have loved an Asian theme. Yes, I would have too. I love the mythology of Japan and China's a whole different, entirely different kind of view. It would have been awesome to do that. We are going to have a person from that region in the next Summer Daze game, so we'll get a touch of that.
Well, if we did it in India, we'd probably, because we pretty much stayed away from any religions except maybe a little bit of ancient Egyptian religion. But if we went to India, I think we'd have to have some of those 1,000 or so gods.
Well, they influence, but again, the gods we had. The mention of the gods. Their powers.
Lori loved Encanto.
Yeah.
Encanto.
Yes, I did. I loved Encanto.
They pronounce it Espanolish.
I was a blubbering mess by the end. Music. I mean, I had to watch it twice just so I could sing along. It's going to be my sing-along movie for a while.
And she called me over for one
Encanto,
scene.
that's how you spell it, yes.
Encanto.
It is. It's on Disney Plus for free. I mean, well, if you have the Disney Plus, and if you have kids, you should have Disney Plus because it's cheap entertainment.
Yeah, we have Disney Plus and hardly ever use it, but when we do
use it.
I use it all the time.
Yeah. Where do you think you see? All the Star Wars stuff.
Well,
if you ever watched it. I watched all of them except for
the first. I watched the first episode of second season of The Mandalorian. We need to see the rest.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Mandalorian because we were watching it with Corey, and of course we don't have.
And I think we have access to Netflix and something else. So I watched all the way through the Queen's Gambit. I love the Queen's Gambit.
I liked Stardust. I thought that was a pretty good movie. It was an entertaining movie. Is Encanto as good as Coco was? It's different, but yes, if you liked Coco, you will like Encanto. Don't talk about Bruno. Yes, did you see the meme about that? Really cracked me up. Don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. And they show Bruno from our game.
Bruno from our game, yeah.
Yes. Mandalorian is really good. Highly recommend it, yeah.
So the Queen's Gambit is, for those of us who used to play chess, was really interesting. It's not perfect, but it's about chess and drugs, and probably about mental illness.
Yeah,
and about the way that foster children or whatever.
Then again, I mean, if you want a long-term thing,
orphans
if you like Star Wars, I really liked.
So it's really Oliver Twist.
I see. Ah.
If you like Orphans, no. If you like Star Wars,
if you like Star Wars, I really liked the cartoon series that have been on.
Rebels, and what was the first one?
Rebels, and the Clone War.
The Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars as a series was awesome.
There's a tie-in board game to the Queen's Gambit.
Oh my gosh!
It's called chess.
It's not literal chess, just why? Yeah, yeah. I really like the Bad Bunch, which was it's a whole series. You have to have seen the. Almost, you had to see the whole thing, and the Clone Wars was a 4-year series, I think it was, and so it's really progressive storytelling. It's pretty awesome when you can have stories that take place across that many episodes. So yeah.
Oh, so in the board game, the Queen's Gambit, you win if you collect sufficient drugs and alcohol?
Yeah, really loved the Queen's Gambit.
I had mixed feelings towards it, but it's really well done.
Okay, well, it's 3:30, so we could play
another game. We just played a game.
Another game, I know, but we're going to 4, so therefore.
Well, unless we go to 4:30.
Well, yeah, it's only.
We'll go to 4 or 4:30, somewhere in there.
Well, we'll see how long.
All right, Lori wants to play another game. The other game we have is Magic Match It, and this one I do have to check.
Yeah, without the thing.
It is.
Yes,
it's
yes,
fine.
Yay!
Okay, Magic Match It was also implemented for us by Cheeseness, based on Lori's thing that she originally did entirely in Photoshop. And it took, pain in the butt for every week.
Turk is not yet satisfied. If you hurried up while we were yakking, you could get that voice.
I could just keep this same. Oh, okay, I could.
Yes, you could get the voice.
Okay, Lori can yak while I'm.
Yak. Yeah. Corey's gonna find our voice scripts for Summer Daze, because we do have Turk as a character in Summer Daze, and at Tilly's Tale, and so therefore we have the voice for him, and so yeah, we have to find Turk. You could just actually have but he's having to find it the hard way because he doesn't have a.
Because I'm not smart.
Because he didn't have it queued up, or he didn't have it on his desktop to find those things, so they were easy, and so Turk clips, and then you have to find the thing to tell you where it is.
This folder is empty.
I see that.
It's not where they went. But I know they've been clipped, so where else could they be?
I don't know. They probably are there, and it hasn't loaded yet.
Oh, maybe it hasn't been shared because of the...
Wave. Try the Wave files. Was it in 1 or 2? And then you have to find the tame stamps.
Laugh.
Oh, did you give it its own...
I give its own name,
Oh, well, that was good. So if you could find it...
Let's see what this is. Play it for everybody.
There we go.
That's one of the...
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that was our Stephen Kelly as Turk impromptu while he was actually answering, reading the script. So Lori broke Stephen several times. He broke Turk.
For Christmas, we got one of my nephews a Super Mario chess set. I will admit, I was a little jealous. Yeah, there's some really nice.
Oh yeah, that was actually that was the full recording.
Yeah. Okay, so we can play the game again. Go back.
But I can't do a Turk laugh all the time unless I.
No, you only do it when the thing comes
somebody
up.
Hits the Turk.
Yeah, when somebody hits Turk.
But I just turned it off, so I can't do it anymore. Okay, we were starting a queue. I'm going to close the queue. Clear. I'm going to rename it to, what's the name? Am I going to clear
Magic Mash it? Yeah.
All right, we're going to clear everybody out of the queue and make it
if anybody
all over
went
again.
to, went off to dinner or something like that, they won't be in the queue and we won't worry about it.
Or went off to, watch a movie.
Yeah. I wanted to watch it.
That wasn't what I intended.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Curious. Okay, this one is going to be Match It.
Imagine a Quest for Glory chess set. I'll think about that. I mean, I'm doing a lot of ceramic work, and I thought a chessboard would be really cool. But having a chessboard with Quest for Glory characters.
Do you have your Erasmus still here?
No, it's drying at the place. So I've made Erasmus and Fenris, but they.
All right, I've opened a queue for playing Magic Match It.
Absolutely huge.
And I see some people typing
yes,
play.
There
Here
it is. There they come. It would be an absolutely huge chessboard if we were using that one. So it has to be
no, but it was cool. So
yeah, it was.
So Lori, long ago, made Erasmus and Fenris sculptures.
Which we have over there, I think. I could get.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not the ones you made, or?
Yeah.
Oh, yours is over there?
Yeah, mine is.
And then, of course, we also had the claymation that was done for the Quest for Glory 1 remake.
Yeah. This was done, I believe.
This was done before Sierra.
Before Sierra. This is our showing off our copyright law,
There we go.
Say
that we do indeed have the rights to Erasmus and Fenris, because Lori did this in the 80s.
Rakesh would probably be a knight. That would be cool. There are only Turks, so your odds aren't terrible.
So, this is something that Lori made. She's actually talented. Whereas, I'm just like a bit pusher.
A little bit here and a little bit there.
Okay, so there we go. The queue has a few people in it. We're going to start the game. First three names are OSU, as usual. Okay, Brainiac, Adventure Sings, and Belixar. And Schumann will be fourth, but we haven't pulled you yet. What are the pawns? The hero. The hero is the pawn of circumstance. So I'm going to bring up this desktop, and we will have Brainiac give us some coordinates. Meeps. No, Meeps are definitely not pawns.
Although they'd be funny as pawns.
They'd be funny pawns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, because they keep popping up and down.
Yeah.
They're hard to attack.
I think we'll
B3 and C4. So I'm going to go to row B and across to column C, 3, and click. And that is Moira, Glenn Shannon. And C4. And that is Gerhard, Master von Orvald. And those do not match.
Shall we give this away as our prize?
You're being awfully generous with our possessions, but we have no place for it, do we?
Right.
Since we don't have a cabin anymore. What does it say?
Dungeness Dragons.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to bring up the webcam then. This is by Melody Rondeau, and it is called Dungeness Dragon.
That'll be the prize for today.
So that's the prize. This is a pen and ink hand watercolor by Melody Rondeau, fantastic cartoonist. It's coming apart.
I know that. It even took off the plastic that was on the top. So, yes, it's old. It's 1982, people. Before some of you people were born.
It's pre-Sierra. That would make it 40 years ago.
Yeah.
It's and it was a great pun, so we had to have it.
Yes.
Who's next in the queue? Because I'm chatting so much. It was Adventure Sings. Needs to give us some coordinates, followed by Belixar.
Adventure Sings says A1 and C3.
A1.
I was born in 82. Well, yeah, you should win this.
And C3.
Esme and Katie, they do not match. So
Nor do they match the other ones chosen.
Okay,
so we have,
fine. We have...
Belixar's up.
Okay. Born in 82. Oh, it looked like a crab dragon. Well, it is. It's a Dungeness dragon.
Yeah, Dungeness crab is the pun.
Yeah.
Dungeness crab mixed with a dragon.
Screen isn't up. Oh, of course the screen isn't up, Corey.
Oop.
Yeah.
Desktop.
Okay. We can't see the board.
I'll give this coordinates again. A1 and C3.
Okay.
Should I give the previous ones too?
Well, yeah.
A1 was this, and C3 was this.
Okay,
and that
fine.
is Esme, and that is Katie.
Okay, fine.
From
right,
Hero
whose
You Road
turn is it?
Redemption. And it's Belixar's turn.
Okay. I can go back to that so we can actually see it.
And the previous
C1 and D6.
C1 and D6. C1
Is Gerhardt.
and D6 is Turk.
You got to find the laugh.
Now, Turk will sit up there until somebody finds the other Turk, and then they'll match.
Yes.
But you'll lose your turn.
You lose your turn.
Okay, the next 4 in the queue. are Schumann.
Sorry, but our internet is bad. Please skip us. Okay, sorry about that.
All right, Schumann, Lorian, and Ricky.
Lorian, Sumatra, and Ricky.
No, Sumatra says skip us.
Oh, so that was
You just
Sumatra.
read that.
Oh, I couldn't read the name.
It was Sumatra said our internet's bad, skip us. So I skipped Sumatra.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
I was very clever about that.
Even read it.
C1 and C4, he thinks.
C1
C1.
is Gerhardt.
Do.
C4.
You have matched to Gerhardt.
Yay!
And we are going to reveal a scrambled something underneath.
Yes.
It looks like some scrambled letters.
Your job is to unscramble it.
And to figure out what this picture is.
Yeah.
So Schumann may go again. At B1 and A2.
B1.
B1.
Ah!
You lose your turn, but you reveal 2 more squares.
And there are 2 more squares of the screen. All right. Brainiac has suspicions already. Jeez.
All right. Lorian
Victory.
Wise, followed by Ricky. Lorian, give us 2 squares, please.
Perhaps it is a scrambled message, and then we have to decipher it. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Rumpelstiltskin? You have to use the backwards alphabet?
Yeah. All right.
As someone pointed out, because people were talking about how unfair a puzzle that was that backwards alphabet puzzles were very common in kids' magazines at the time. So
A2, A3.
So kids who of the same age as Roberta would have known exactly how to do that. We have a Gregor the Ratty and the Quirk.
They do not match. All right, so we are now at Ricky.
Well, the ciphers from Dr. Rain, yes,
Yeah,
but they were simple. The catch to it was you had to spell Rumpelstiltskin using the backwards alphabet, but the programmer who implemented it, or maybe it was Roberta,
No, it was probably the programmer.
made a typo, and so one of the letters was wrong.
Yeah.
And so it would
Those
be basically
were fun. Reminds me of the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Gold
Oh,
Budget.
I loved that story when I was a kid.
All right, D4 and C6.
D4
Is
and
Aeolus.
C6 is
Mortuai.
Mortuai. No match.
Okay, so now we need to pick some more people.
Oh, was that the end of the list? Did we get Lorian? Did Lorian give us a guess?
Lorian gave us a guess.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. He did the A2, A3. Did we do A2, A3? I'm going to do it again.
No. All right, fine. But we did do it.
Oh, yeah, we did. That was the Ratty and the the Quirk. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very bad. Mortuai was a character on the IT Crowd, wasn't he? I have no idea. Mortuai is actually a persona in a series of role-playing by bulletin board games on the School for Heroes website.
No, Mortuai.
No? Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was the Half-Wittenberg.
The Half-Wittenberg.
The Half-Wittenberg Door website. Mortuai was one of the characters on there. And Jameis was another one. And
Hans.
And Hans.
And those became part of our game and part of our history.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some people.
So not only did they make it into our game, but Gene Dvorak wrote a series of books based on the adventures of Jameis and his horse Wim, magical horse. Okay, let's get some more people into this queue.
Okay, we got some people.
We got 4. That's enough for now.
Yeah, so we will.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, Brainiac.
Brainiac's up again.
Let's get some letters.
Followed by Schumann, Lorian, and Belksar. The only active players here.
Oh, well.
Just before.
Oh, he's hedging his bets.
You want to win. There is Moira. From Shannon.
Okay,
and
so
I believe
now
she has appeared, and if it wasn't in that square, then you could guess B3.
B3.
Thought it was pretty close to there.
Oh
yes,
my gosh.
That's why B4 sounded familiar.
Okay, there we got some more things
there
from
is
the
more of the
background.
scene. I think I'm starting to read this.
Okay, well, I'm glad you can.
OSU can go again. Brainiac.
You have
He's
to
really good at these
identify
games.
which game with this is.
Brainiac keeps showing up. He doesn't care about what we have to yak about, but he's really good at these games, so he shows up every
I think I know a scene, but he's going to go again. Okay. I wouldn't have known this scene. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't have recognized it right away. But B2.
B2 is the Quirk.
Can you
probably
match the
know where that goes.
Yeah.
A3. That would have been my guess, too.
Yes. And there we reveal 2 more parts of this puzzle. Oh, we're starting to see things.
See something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep on going. Brainiac's good at running the board on this.
I know the scene.
Scion
Oh,
knows the scene.
wow. Okay. What specifically do you want to identify? What
I don't
game
know.
it is? And what this scene is about?
And
I
usually
don't
we
want
ask
to
what
win.
characters
I
are.
don't want to win. Oh, well.
Somebody should write down
Okay.
Retro Rensal prize and whoever else I should.
A6 for now.
A6 for now. That one has not been on the board. That is a Fataya.
Yes. Can you guess? We're hit the
So
other
you gotta
Ifritaya.
guess. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that isn't so easy.
We don't want it to be
but
too
you can
easy.
be lucky. You might get lucky.
Do, 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 do.
D2.
D2.
Mortuai. They do not match, but it is Schumann's.
It is now Schumann 3D Blast turn.
Ooh.
The Demon Scene from QFT3.
Okay.
I don't remember what it is because Lori did this weeks ago. We were going to use it in the previous stream and we didn't have time for it.
I gotta go, but it's been great hanging out with you. Thanks so much.
Okay, we'll
Thank
come
you.
back. We'll be back in 2
Yeah.
weeks. Two
See
weeks
they-
at 2 p.m. PST.
D2 and C6.
He thinks.
He thinks D2
And
and
C6.
C6.
No!
Oh, that's not C6, Corey. That's C5.
Oh. All right, D2 and C6. All right.
S. You got it. Okay.
Very good.
See you, Belzar. Okay.
Oh, I think he was saying see you to Derek, but I hope because
Okay,
he's
bye.
up next.
Okay.
Or in 2.
Whoa, your memory's quite good. Okay, it's your turn again. Or you can guess the scene and...
My memory was good, but just my
Mm-hmm.
click wasn't so on point. Go G4 with the Guards of the Castle?
Is that Quest for Glory 4?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Was a good guess, wasn't it?
We're still in Schumann, aren't we? Okay, this is the scene with the dumb demons in Lost Cities and Wages of War, which is Quest for Glory 3. The heroes sneaking behind them, and they're talking about dumb demon things.
Yes, they're
is that
talking
what it
about...
is?
Yes, that is. They're talking about dumb
Well,
demon
let's
things.
reveal it all and find out what it is. So who was guessing this? Is that OSU?
Huh? No, that
No,
was...
it's Schumann 3D
Schumann,
Blast. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I meant.
Reveal.
Schumann 3D Blast.
There it is.
And boy, I wouldn't guess it from this either.
Yeah.
All I want is something to beat up a bit and bite the head off. Is that too much to ask you for, I ask you? That wasn't probably his accent.
Aspirations. No, it wasn't probably, but he
That
didn't have a
paused you to
voice.
scroll, but I didn't intend to scroll.
Okay.
All right, Schumann 3D Blast is the winner.
I was having too much fun guessing, yes. Wow, just updated. Just started updating. Time to see where or what I was. Oh, okay. I decided to gamble on a third pair and lost. Yes, indeed.
But that's fine, Brainiac, because you're a winner in our book every time you show up.
It's Mr. Green with the candlestick in the conservatory, of course.
Oh.
We should have known that.
Mr. Blue.
I did not
This
actually
is,
remember these demons in the Lost City.
This
But
demon is more blue than... there's some green pool of goo there, water or something, but...
yeah, so
maybe that's the
so the
floor.
hero has to sneak past them. Is that what it was? I just didn't bother to actually play the game after.
I think if you actually go in the room, you're dead. So this is something you
I
get
could
here
see
from
there-
outside.
No, yeah. Well, heroes is.
Oh, I
sneaking
see. There he
past-
is. He's sneaking
Yeah,
behind
you
them.
can see him in the thing. Yeah, yeah. Sneak if
So
you're
very-
a wizard or thief.
So
Or
very-
he can beat him up. Oh, okay. That would be some combat.
It's a wizard use
I
this
don't remember
invisibility
that at all.
spell.
Yeah, it is in the Lost City. I did remember that. Fighter and Pally should attack or calm them if wizard. Oh, okay, thank you. I sure didn't remember what they were. I know that I think it was.
Harold came through a secret entrance.
Yes.
I did actually play through this a few months ago during one of the streams.
Well,
It
you
was,
didn't
it was
go
in
this
I
far.
didn't go this way, but I was in the castle.
Oh, you were? Well,
Yeah,
no,
I
we
made
were
this
in
far.
4, not in 3.
Oh, and
4, we were sneaking around the
4.
castle. Yeah.
Right, 4, the castle.
Why, it's a goons in Castle
3.
Medorovia that'll always kill you. Though there are some.
Okay, that was what I was
yeah.
thinking of. Okay, so 3.
Yeah,
So this is entrance to Lost City.
yeah. That's what it is.
So what happened? Let me get back to webcam. So of course, when we made Heroes Quest, we ran into a problem because we knew that the people doing RuneQuest had wanted to do a Hero Quest and had problems getting the trademark on it, but Heroes Quest seemed to be available as a trademark for computer games, and we're in the process of trademarking it. And in the U.S. it would have worked. But in the UK, you can file for trademark while you're working on something before you finish it. And Games Workshop had a board game called Advanced Hero Quest.
It was yesterday, if yesterday was
And
1980.
they had licensed out the name to a group that was making a video game based on it. And so they said that Heroes Quest as a video game was too close a title to their Advanced Hero Quest. I don't think they're that close personally, but... and they said cease and desist. And Sierra ended up doing that with Heroes Quest. That's why we renamed it to Quest for Glory. So fast forward another 4 years, and we're working on 3 years. We're working on Quest for Glory 3, Wages of War. And it's all about, kind of an anti-war message, and that, you really shouldn't go to war. And it's based on the biblical quote, the wages of sin is death. So the wages of war is something bad. I think was the idea, maybe. Anyway, we went to E3 in Atlanta, Georgia, as opposed to Atlantic City, New Jersey, different place. Atlanta, Georgia, and there was a company there that had a game that they were showing off.
I thought that was later.
Was it a different convention?
Yeah, and it was much later afterwards.
It wasn't.
After we had shipped it.
No, we hadn't shipped it yet. No,
we had it printed.
We were promoting it.
Oh, we were promoting it.
We were promoting it, but we hadn't shipped it yet. And there was a company there that had a war game, tactical war game called Wages of War. And they said, you can't use that title, Wages of War. Because we were showing it the same show. And they said, we have a trademark on this.
We didn't show Quest for Glory 3. We never showed it. They never promoted our games, so we certainly didn't. Well,
this is my memory. Okay, maybe it's wrong. Anyway, someone at a show we went to.
We saw the Wages of War, and they
the Wages of War, and they somehow Sierra had publicized it and got a cease and desist on that, and so they said, "Oh, we'll make a deal." And they said, "Our first copies are already printed. They're already being shipped to stores. We can't recall those." But what we'll do is for future printings, we'll change the name.
Before we could put it, in other words, after the game had shipped,
yes.
They wanted to get us to stop it, and if we wanted to put it in the group, the compendium, the compilation discs, we had to change the name. So you will see there's some publicity for having changed the name.
So we made it. They asked Lori and me what title we wanted, and we said, well, how about since this was sort of a Edgar Rice Burroughs sort of thing, we said, let's make it Seekers of the Lost City.
Yes, that would have been its alternate name.
Which is a little too long, really. Gives the words tighter.
Seekers of the Lost City.
Anyway, so here and there were advertisements for Seekers of the Lost City, but what Rick Cavan actually said to us when he made this deal is he kind of laughed and said, the way games are these days is that basically we're not going to do a second printing.
Yeah. Yes, that was it. So we were in the first printing, but he wasn't going to do the second printing. So we weren't going to do a second printing anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. And we never did. And so now we never changed the name, although we advertised we were going to change the name. So if you have any
of those advertisements or whatever for Seekers of the Lost City, that's probably a collector's item.
Yeah. Non-interactive demos for Quest for Glory 3 and Quest for Glory 4, let's see. Played the game. Okay, that's in reference probably to
City,
probably Advanced Heroes Quest and things like that. Played Heroes Quest in Chess Club advertisable. Yeah.
Okay, so released under a different name in the UK. Here's the problem: is that the biggest game market in Europe is actually Germany, but all of Sierra's distribution for Europe was out of the UK.
Yeah.
So basically, if we were told to desist and recall in the UK, that meant no European shipments. So it would have been UK and Germany and France.
Certain versions of Quest for Glory 4 manual as well. Yeah. So we did reference it. We just never did it. Yes. I bought the Quest for Glory anthology in 1995. I actually found the game on a 400 game disc. huh?
Oh yeah, those get a lot of profit.
Have you ever negotiated with Activision? Well, to make a sequel, we've tried negotiating.
We tried. The first version of that was when we had just finished up Quest for Glory 5 and was shipping. Craig Alexander was the general manager of Yosemite Entertainment, which is the Sierra division.
Doing the game?
That did it. Called us in for a meeting, and he said, I think I can get you the rights to the Quest for Glory series title in return for, and he says, I can't promise this. I haven't talked to them directly, but I think I can get it for you if you're willing to give up all future royalties for all of your Quest for Glory games. And we felt that was just too much to ask and didn't go for it. We didn't know at the time that our total royalties for all the games from that point forward was about $3,000, if that.
The Quest for Glory 5 hadn't even really
Quest for Glory 5 never broke even.
And it hadn't shipped yet.
Okay.
And they were asking us to give up
all the royalties for that and all of our previous games.
And my salary was not a salary so much. It was based on the idea I would be getting
royalties. She got advances against royalties.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, Quest for Glory 5 did not sell enough copies to break even on her advances because it took us 3.5 years to make the game. And so they were expecting to pay her for 1.5 years, and so they pay her for 3.5 years, which was kind of nice to have some income.
Yes, it was good income, but...
blah, blah, blah. Where did I go off in a tangent?
Yeah, you were going to...
talk
about it, but...
so Craig Alexander said he thought he could get us out, and we said no.
Before we finish
in hindsight,
this...
we should have said yes.
Yes, we should have said... But my daughter, Mia, is insisting on typing hi. Tell them my name is Mia, and I say hi.
Hi, Mia!
Hi, Mia! I had to interrupt so she can go to bed properly.
Yes, thank you for coming to our chat, Mia.
Yes, and
I'm Corey, and this is Lori, and you're Mia.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes, doubt that Activision is desperate. So on the lines, would Activision Blizz is desperate enough to sell the rights to anything? Activision Blizzard is totally screwed up right now, and I don't think they make any good decisions.
Well, fast forward about 10 or 15 years from our Sierra time, and I I offered $5,000, I think, for a limited license to be able to make a sequel to a Quest for Glory game. And they basically didn't even bother answering because that was a trivial amount of money to them. And several years later, I worked with a company that we should not mention, but actually 3 different companies at different times.
Yes, 3 different companies.
That all said that they wanted to do Quest for Glory games.
Yeah,
and we said, okay, fine, we'll work with you and put our names on it. And they went to Activision and were basically told various variations of, no, we have no interest in licensing any of our intellectual property because we may need to use it in the future.
Yes. And $8 billion in revenue, $2.2 billion in profit. Probably not looking to sell anything.
So if I had offered $50,000, which would have been a lot of money to us, instead of $5,000, that still would have been trivial to them.
Yeah.
And at $500,000, maybe I'd start talking, but that would be way, way beyond. That's more money than we made in Kickstarter.
So all the lawyers eat it up, saving their bets. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But at that point, the third time we did this, they were in the process of doing the King's Quest remake, or the new versions of King's Quest with the Odd Gentleman. And so they wanted to see how that was going to do, and if it was successful, then they would have done new Quest for Glory games and others. And apparently they made some money from it, but not really. I don't know whether it broke even or not, but it certainly did not make the vast fortunes as World of Warcraft and Candy Crush Saga do.
Activision, along with EA, has become the evil empire. Yes, game developing is a very dangerous job. It's not easy on anybody. But, certain companies will rename, like WoW, Blizzard, Activision. They are not easy places to work through. Sierra was never easy to work at either. It was...
it was a roller coaster.
Corey never knew when he was going to be fired. Let's put it that way.
I almost got fired about a month or 2 in.
Yeah.
Month or 2 in, because I went. I was waiting for. I was converting SCI to the Atari ST, and I had some manuals to work from on the assembly language for the 68,000. What I didn't have was an Atari ST development station. I wandered the halls because I did most of my thinking wandering the halls, and came across Rick Cavan, the general manager's office, and made a casual comment, as I was wont to do. Said, "Oh, this is where you hang out." And Rick glared at me and said, "I don't hang out. I work." And shortly after that, he said that Ken wanted to have me fired because I wasn't working hard enough, and he had talked Ken out of it, and that Rick was my friend. I've always been a little suspicious about that message, and I think Ken would tell the story differently.
Yeah. I'd also be suspicious of how did Ken know that you were walking around and talked to Rick Cavan if Rick Cavan hadn't
if he hadn't passed on.
But yeah, it was not easy to work for.
Anyway, eventually I got the Atari ST, and I did an amazing. But I did all my work for that. The editors were primitive and crashed a lot, so I actually did all my work on yellow legal pads, and I had about 15 or 20 yellow legal pads in which I had hand translated all the assembly language code of SCI from 8086 to 68000. And I did it well enough that once I typed it in finally, that I got it working within a few weeks.
Yeah. It's a shame.
But it took months to write that down, the yellow legal pads.
2015. It's been 2015. Yikes. It's too bad they didn't do enough to further Sierra revivals. You know, if Activision had made money off of them, there would be.
And
more.
I think they promoted that pretty well, so we can't blame the company for not promoting it.
Yeah, it's just
but it's a fringe. It's a graphic adventure games or fringe thing these days. People are looking for action.
The book Revolution in the Valley displays similar types of in-depth notes about the creation of the original Macintosh. Yeah.
So
Rick is one of the guys.
Yes, Rick Cavan is one of the whip wielders. Ken Williams, the other one, right?
I guess I didn't. I think it was just Ken. I think it was just Rick wandering through the halls with the whip.
Yeah, holding.
But in our game,
well, he was on the tops of the cubicles, I think.
Okay.
Cubicle
but
walls.
Then in our game, it was Al Caveen. I mean,
Al Caveen.
Caveen, I think.
Oh, it was Caveen. Yeah,
Caveen.
I was Al Skirva. Al Skirva was Bill Skirva. He was the one of the art directors.
Yes, Al Skirva, who had all the pretty little girls that he hired to be our art team.
Our art team, yeah. So basically, anyone who was receptionist or whatever got turned into an animator. Yeah.
That's Rick. Ken is wandering the hall. So yeah, okay.
Okay. And let's see. And of course, the third one was Atavis.
Atavis was Bill Davis.
The game was named after Bill Davis, who was the creative director for the company.
Yes. So yeah, we all get our digs at these people.
So Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire, was all about our experience in developing Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire.
Yes.
It's a recursive game.
It is.
And it is designed to be a recursive game because it's based on the Arabian Nights. And those were all based on stories told by Sherazade to her husband, who had the reputation for sleeping with his wives for one night and then having them killed in the morning, so he'd have a new wife each time.
Right.
And so instead, she said, "Well, let me tell you a story because I think you'll enjoy it." And he loves stories, so he said, "Okay, go ahead." And she basically started her story and then said, "Oh, it's getting late," and ended on a cliffhanger. So he said, "Well, I'll probably have you put to death in the morning." She says, "Okay, well, whatever my master wills." But of course, he wanted to hear the next part of the story. So she started making these stories. So she'd have might be a beggar somewhere in the story. And then suddenly she would interrupt that story and start the story of the beggar. Yes. And they were all nested tales.
Nested tale. It was the original nested tale. I mean, one tale goes
into the other. And the idea is that for 1,001 nights, 1,000 nights and a night, she kept stretching out this endless story, which kind of reminds me of Gano Hain, who was co-author of EcoQuest with Jane Jensen. Talked about our son and hers telling endless, pointless stories, much like this one.
Yes.
So anyway, endless story, and after the 1,001st night, he finally said, forget it. I'm not going to have you put to death after all, and married her instead.
He was married to her.
Well, yeah, she was part of his harem.
Yeah.
He became her favorite wife, and she ruled the harem.
As he didn't marry any of the others. I mean, because we're all dead, so there was no harem in his castle in his story.
Oh, okay.
He just had wives.
Whatever.
One wife.
Anyway,
serial wives. Actually, 1,001 stories in the real book. Yes.
Yes. We had actually the complete Richard Burton translation of 1,000 Nights and a Night.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 10 volumes plus 4 supplemental volumes or
Yes.
something like that. That we picked up at a used bookstore at Berkeley for a song. And it turns out it's actually not worth much.
The Voyages of Sinbad were part of that story. Aladdin was part of it. Almost all the Arabian Nights stories that we grew up with was part of that thing.
So pretty awesome. So we wanted, Lori wanted to make that story structure for the game. And so she tried to build it so it would give the feeling of being in that environment where Sherazade and...
Golden Glow Master says, as a black person, you are the only people to make a game in Africa, so you two hold a special place in my heart. Where did you get the inspiration for it, and is any of the lore based on real-world cultures? Of course...
The answer is yes.
Yes, of course. We weren't going to put it in the game series originally, but we had put Rakesh from that area in Tarna, and so...
So our friend Ellen Guan Beeman
basically
said, I know what your next game is.
And she said...
and when I said, oh, really? Let's hear your idea of it.
And when she described it,
it was completely different from what we had in mind.
But it was perfect.
Yes.
So that's why we did it. The Simbani culture is truly based on the Maasai culture.
Maasai warrior
it's
culture.
It's really in Kenya. It's set in Kenya kind of esque area.
Yeah, I think we called it East Fracana in the manual, and that's just East Africa. I mean, it's... the whole Quest for Glory series is essentially built in an analog of Earth.
The Leopard Men was based off of more of the jungle.
Kipling?
No. There was a bunch of tribes that were more in the jungle, more Central Africa that we brought together into it. So yes, I did a lot of research.
She did actual research.
Yes. And, of course, language and things like that. All of that we wanted to create this verisimilitude. And in our next game, after Tilly's Tale...
The lead character is black, and he is from that...
he's from Yoruba.
Tribe. He's from Yoruba,
he's from Yoruba.
Which is more West Central Africa.
Yeah, and that's... their area is where I'm pulling the mythologies and the stories of his people and his family, and we actually have a lovely compendium book that we have with it, a short story with it that has illustrations about how he was growing up there. So yes, we really do want to bring the culture and the experience of these,
Yeah, the problem is that we don't have Rick Cavan holding a whip over us and forcing us to work 12 hours a day to get these games done, so therefore it takes us longer.
Yeah, it does take us longer. Right now,
and we also have no money, but...
They had that too, and we have no distribution. All those, all those things.
Yeah, we have no idea how we're going to market the current Tilly's Tale game. I started contacting someone, but didn't get a response back, so I need to do more in terms of finding people that can help us with the PR for a visual novel as opposed to a traditional adventure game. But if we finish it, then the second book in the Summer Daze series features Afeo. And Afeo is a misfit because he is from a culture in which women are the craftspeople and the creative people and the wizards, and men are more warriors and herders and workers. And Afeo is a man who wants to be a wizard.
Yep.
And knows that he has innate talent as a wizard, but in his homeland, that's not acceptable. So he goes off to Hero University, where they don't care.
Of course, if we ever do Wizard's Way, one of the characters in the book is also from Tarna. Actually, he's a Simbani person. So, and of course, the teacher of in Wizard Way, which
it's been so long since we.
So you saw those pictures, yeah. I know. Well, he's one of the students is there, and he's actually connected with the games. And then, of course, the person that is the teacher of the warriors is Mumbera McGillicuddy, whose father was Scottish and his mother was Simbani. So
So anyway, the reason we ended up setting a game in Africa is because we wanted to have. We very intentionally set the first Heroes Quest game in Western Europe, in Germany, because that was kind of traditional Tolkien-style fantasy, and we wanted people to be comfortable with it.
And then we wanted to...
But we wanted to really go everywhere in the world.
Yes, we wanted to do it. The current Hero U University
is in Sardonia, and Sardonia is a very thinly disguised Sardinia.
Yes, it is in the map located as Sardinia.
And the Caligari, named after Cabinet of Dr. Caligari film, is actually, I think, called Calamari.
It's Calamari, yeah. So we could have done
that.
Shrimp jokes, but and octopus jokes, but yeah, squid jokes, yeah. Quest for Glory 3 had a huge impact on me growing up, and Quest for Glory 4, the first 2 games I didn't play until I was an adult. Yeah.
Now, I believe the original School for Heroes was in Somalia.
Yes, it was.
And we were trying to distance ourselves as much as possible from the Quest for Glory series so that Activision wouldn't come down on our ass with their lawyers. Yeah. And we since discovered that we're such small potatoes that their lawyers have no interest in us.
And besides, they don't even know what we're doing. So,
even if they did, I mean, somebody could probably tell them.
Yeah.
But they don't care. We're tiny fish.
Yeah.
In a big sea.
So, at any rate, yes, the original school was located in
on Crete.
On Merite.
On Merite.
Merite in
Merite.
Yeah.
I call it Merite, but maybe it's Merite.
But we had in the live role playing that we did on BBS type thing.
Famous Adventures Correspondence School,
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Eris Way. Yes.
And of course, the company, Sierra Online, was on Sierra Way in Oakhurst. It wasn't at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, though.
No.
It was 4, 5 something.
Yes.
40,000 or something.
I played Quest for Glory 5 and loved it. I'm glad. 5 is a interesting.
Yeah, 5 has a lot of love and hate things because the graphics on it, we were doing, some of the first pioneers of 3D graphics. It was state of the art for the time, and it really did not look very good.
But it was beautiful. I mean, the pencil drawings for all those backgrounds was just astonishing. The amount of money and the quality that went into that.
Yeah, we finally had a budget for a game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they didn't want to spend. It would have been between $500,000 and $1 million to license Unreal Engine.
Yeah. So we rolled our own.
And so they made their own 3D engine. It was fine, but when you're rolling your own engine and the person making the engine is also the lead programmer for the game, he doesn't have time to optimize the engine.
Yeah. So there were a lot of problems there too. Quest for Glory did everything it needed to do. I married Irana. All is good. Yes, yes. I am glad. I am glad that she has a happy ending to her story.
Hey, okay. Make a tick mark. Irana has a husband.
Okay. 5 was really impressive for how much it tried to do in an era where 3D graphics were mutating so much so rapidly. Yes, I loved all 5 games, and I happily own them all in multiple fashions. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, we've heard this tale before, but we do a thing every few years. We join a group of adventure game developers for a thing they call the Game Designers Workshop, which is really all narrative designers.
Yeah.
And one of the people there was a person who had worked for Sierra up in, was he in Bellevue or was he in the Dynamics?
He was Dynamics.
Okay, he was in Dynamics and he was working on the Gabriel Knight.
Yes, but he was the group that did the Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, and he said that their game was seriously delayed and had problems because they decided that the old SCI engine wasn't good enough, and so they took the Dynamics' flight simulator engine, and used it as the base for an engine for a game. And so basically they rolled their own 3D engine and had problems with it and delayed the game. Meanwhile...
And they had to rewrite it. That was the key.
Oh, okay.
Like us.
Yeah, so they did 2 full iterations of it. They started out as the flight sim engine. It wasn't good enough. They ended up writing a custom engine. Meanwhile, up in Bellevue, the Seattle area, they were working in King's Quest 8, I believe. Was that Mask of Eternity?
Yeah. And
they decided to go full 3D from that, and decided that it really needed to be 3D and that they had to create their own 3D engine. And I think they did 3 iterations of that one.
Yep.
So Sierra that when we started, its whole strength was that they had a systems department that created SCI, and all the games used SCI, and if you wanted to change to SCI, they actually changed SCI for all the games.
Yes.
So that they had control over it. Instead went to 3 major productions that were all multi-million-dollar projects at 3 different locations, each rolling our own new 3D engine. Absolute insanity.
It was.
And we all had similar problems to it. And if we had combined efforts, then we would have all been pointing fingers at whoever was developing the engine, because it would have been so screwed up with the schedules and et cetera, and so many problems.
And that's what happens when you have,
not invented here syndrome.
Yeah, and when you don't have a central leader or a central vision for anything.
So Ken Williams in his book actually talks about, when he had basically been shifted out of the company, and before that he'd been shifted out of development, just was only working in marketing. But for all the stress that we thought we had with Ken Williams when he was there, turns out he was actually a very strong leader. And that he got people to get stuff done. And when he was no longer in charge, it went off in all different directions. Yeah. I used to say that, the CEOs should never get 100 times what the average worker is being paid, because now Ken only made about 10 times what the average worker was
10
paid.
10 times reasonable.
But I said that, this is ridiculous because the CEO doesn't really do anything. Well, I changed my tune on that because Ken really made a difference at Sierra. Yeah. It would not have been the company it was without him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, King's Quest 8 was the fighting one. Yes, the one that didn't actually, realize it was an adventure game, and that's because, Roberta had very little to do with it. She had no control over it, and that was, yes, they basically...
Yeah, and Ken mentioned that in his book, is that she basically got pushed off to the side and said, okay, we're going to put your name on this, and we have your basic idea, and we'll handle this.
Yeah. So we didn't get that. I mean, basically, we had been fired from the company, but we were brought in.
Well, Heroes Quest, we had no oversight whatsoever.
Heroes Quest?
Yeah, the first game.
Yes, we did have a total oversight. What do you mean, oversight?
Nobody telling us how to make the game.
Yes, we had no oversight. We were totally in control.
Right.
Okay.
And then Quest for Glory 2, we were told that we had to follow the art process that was being developed for the 256 color games, even though we were the last 16 color parser game, and it was terrible.
Yeah, we had ups and downs.
Every game was a struggle.
Every game was a new experience, totally. Garrosh is our mostly alliance.
Garrosh, I have both Horde and Alliance characters on.
Oddly enough, I don't have a level 60 alliance.
My main on Garrosh is Maramachi, and I'll need to type that. It's supposed to be kind of Italian, but she's a dwarf.
Yes, one of the things I loved about graphic adventures is you could always have a non-aggressive way to solve problems. Yes, and
there's my main on Garrosh Alliance.
And on Rogue to Redemption, of course, we deliberately plotted out a way to win the game without having a single combat. You might miss some things, but you could get through the whole game without killing anybody. No.
On Horde, I have Larissa, who started out as Alliance. She was originally a Night Elf.
Yes.
Changed servers twice, and then changed factions. And ended up, I was trying to make her a Zandalari Troll when they first came in, and I screwed up the order of how I did things and didn't get the option to do that. So I made her a Troll, and it turned out that Troll Druids are actually better than Zandalari Troll Druids. So
yeah, at the time you actually couldn't do it. Yeah, you couldn't actually transfer to.
I could have done it 1 week. 1 week later after I had opened. I just had to do things in the right order.
I've never been very good at reflex important arcade-style games, so I've always preferred adventure games. Yes. Yes. Oh, they usually have a superior plot and story elements. Yeah, well, those are the key. Yes. Yes. Whereas my characters are hunters, demon hunter, and druids mostly right now are my preferred classes.
Yeah, we like the generals classes. For some reason, we haven't gotten much into paladins. We've both played paladins, but
we have level 50 paladins,
yeah,
which is
but we're not.
The last expansion, I got all my characters up to
we got every character up to 50, just about.
This current thing is not very.
It was not alt-friendly originally. It is now, but and we've actually started leveling a few characters. It only takes a few days. It takes a week, basically, of part-time play to level a character to 60 and get them up to fully geared.
But yes, and back to the old games. Yeah, the graphic adventures, well, Road to Redemption was a true, for me, role-playing adventure combination. Really worked at it to try to get the adventure game experience, but still make it a role-playing game.
Yeah, it was actually when Sierra brought us in originally. I was there. I was there as a programmer working on system conversions. But even then, we were talking about doing the Heroes Quest game and potentially series. And what they were looking at is that Sierra was actually the publisher for Ultima 2. And Richard Garriott felt that he wasn't getting a good deal there, and he split off and created his own company, Origin Systems. And Sierra was looking to recapture that magic, and they had gotten someone to make a game called Wrath of Denethanor that just had not done well in the marketplace. And then we were the second or third try after that, trying to make a role-playing game for them. And they wanted us to make an Ultima-style game. And by then, I had been at the company 6 months, converting SCI, and looked at the games. And I said, you know what, this engine will not let us make an Ultima-style game, but we can do better. We can take our tabletop gaming experience, and we can make something that looks like an adventure game to all the adventure game players, but SCI was object-oriented, and I could build a layer on top of SCI's object-oriented classes with role-playing functionality, and we can do a role-playing game that looks like an adventure game but is really an RPG. And that became Heroes Quest and then Quest for Glory.
Have you seen the movie The Ash Lad in the Hall of the Mountain King?
Never heard of it.
No. Reminds me of Quest for Glory because the main character uses items he finds in his brains to solve problems and deal with the bad guys. Interesting. Yeah.
So the distinction I make between an adventure game and a role-playing game is that adventure games have puzzles and they have solutions to those puzzles. So you find the stick, and the stick turns out to actually be a stick of dynamite, and then you can set it off and break through a wall. In a role-playing game, you find tools and you use them to solve problems. And the distinction is that anything you find in the game is a general-purpose tool, such as a sword is a tool. It can be used to fight. It can be used as a pry bar. It can be used, dig holes, whatever. But a bad example, but anyway. So you find tools in our games, and the tools have object-oriented characteristics. They have behaviors, and given those behaviors, you can solve problems with them because the problems are open-ended too. Mm-hmm. And we have some actual puzzles. But
Quest for Glory Fighter Hero is a far cry from the D&D murder hobo, though. Yeah.
Depends how you play it. Firesign Theater had a line where they're crewing a spaceship in the theme park of the future, and Mark Time or something like that.
Mind you, this is a radio.
Radio play. Is putting together. The robot tells him, "We're going to need a crew, Mark." Except that it gets repeated incorrectly as it's going to take a crowbar. And so that's every time I see the word crowbar, I can't help but think back to Waiting for the Electrician or someone like him.
Or the D&D game where they spent a half an hour trying to open a door, and they said,
And then one of the players said,
we really needed a crowbar.
And then someone said, I have a crowbar in inventory. It's on my character sheet.
Yes.
And he just never occurred to him.
Never occurred to him to
that
use
it would be
the
useful.
Crowbar. So that's the other story of the crowbar. And it is 4:25, so we kind
and
of...
I have a World of Warcraft raid coming up in 20 minutes, so I guess I should end the stream. But we're going to try and run a little longer than just the 2 hours, unless we get run out of things to...
we can easily run out of things to say.
Well, I haven't even finished the last Activision story. So anyway, we went to Activision, and they said basically wouldn't even talk to us because they were.
That's three. That was
4 stories ago.
5 conversations.
I know,
ago.
but this was all the Quest for Glory 2
yeah.
stories. Anyway, So we talked to the lawyer after that. Basically said no, they just don't want to deal with small companies because if you do make a game and it isn't good, it'll reflect badly on them or something like that. But they're never going to do anything with the Quest for Glory.
No.
It'll just sit there forever.
Oh no, had her talents reset and squashed to level 40. That is a shock. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you just leveled all your characters carefully up to...
Yeah, it was level 110, I think, in the last expansion.
110. Every character that I had, all my main characters, like that was 40 characters.
And then all those 110s got squashed down to 50.
Yeah.
And lower ones correspondingly squashed.
So, yeah.
QFG 3D Hexen mod. No, I have seen screenshots of it, but I've not really done anything with it.
Yeah. Activision is dog in a manger. Yeah, well, yes, it is.
Well, it's, they paid a lot of money to buy Sierra and get all that intellectual property and on the thought that it might be useful for something. And
right.
It's really a garage full of clutter is what it is.
And also it goes into companies. Company presidents and all those people at the top don't know what they're doing. They have no clue what a game is. Generally.
No, they will not, Sumatra.
And
they will not sell it. They will not sell it. They will not let us license it.
Yeah.
So they will not let us make a game. But
again, the thing with Hollywood and the thing with the large game companies, you never go wrong saying no.
Yeah.
If you say yes,
it's a
bad decision, then that's on you.
You're out of there.
It's on you.
You're gone.
You're the problem. But if you say no and nothing gets made, then you're not a problem. It isn't your fault. So therefore, it's easier to say no than it is to say yes to these things. Would it be cool if there was a game where you could level up to 50 and after that you could level up until you die and it resets back to level 50?
I'm trying to think. There's something similar. I'm not coming up what it is, but I mean it's sort of like in a raid. If you've killed some raid bosses, and then have a total team wipe, that when you reset in, it brings you back to somewhere in the raid dungeon near where you. Near the last boss that you defeated. Modern raids, yes. And then you can continue on to the rest of the bosses.
Yeah, so they don't actually restart you from zero, which is what they used to do. I don't know how many times we did Karazhan and, and all those things.
Karazhan and Extramus.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the rules were actually.
Any rate,
we have many more stories about that for future.
Yes.
We can talk more about WoW because, now we've run out. Now we've told you everything there is to tell you about.
But they are not interested in WoW because most of them don't play it. So, at any rate, thanks you for showing up.
They want us to play some RPGs.
They do.
But probably not WoW.
Yes, and thank you for the fun. Well, you're very welcome.
I'm glad you had fun.
We will see you in 2 weeks. We'll try to figure out a new theme that doesn't involve the weather, because I know some of you
I need to answer
really
one more thing. Wait, Sumatra just said adventure games are still struggling in terms of sales. Well, first of all, it's hard even back in the 90s. But what's going on now is that sites like you go on Steam to sell your game or GOG, and they are so flooded. They have so many games on there that players just have wealth of choices. Many of them are free or very cheap. A lot of the ones that are cheap actually have in-game purchase and stuff to make their money. But it's just a discovery of any game is impossible because there's so many choices out there.
So there are quite a few adventure games up there. You just can't find
them. So the market as a whole is making more and more money every year. The industry as a whole, but any given game, very hard to succeed because when you had 15 competitors when Sierra was doing them,
it was easy to
people could find their games. When there are 1,500 competitors. It's a lot harder.
So, bye-bye.
And there's my alarm.
Yep.
So, thanks all. Love you all.